Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with Andrew Velez, Joel Dells, and John Tortorelli. Wishing Riv nothing but the best. He can't make it. He is sick. He has something going on with his stomach. But fellas, this is going to be a great episode. It was a lot of great football this past weekend. My glorious King Jordan Love went down with a concussion against the Bears. And we lost in devastating fashion. But what's not devastating is this jersey. And I brought it on this table front and center to show you guys what I was talking about one of the last episodes. It's the Jordan Love jersey with the captain patch on it, with the Reebok throwback mesh on it, with the stitched lettering. The only team in the NFL that has this type of mesh is the Packers. They're the only ones that still create it.
Because they know what's up. Packers,
because they're fan owned.
That's well said. Because the fans are the ones that really like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that brain of yours, man, it really gets me.
Yeah. So when people will say, you can't be a Packers fan, it's like they're publicly owned. Of course, anybody could be that.
Well, I saw someone said you're one of the best Packers fans ever.
They did. Multiple people have commented that to me because I was being nice about the Bears winning. So a lot of people commented and said, you're the most level-headed Packers fan I've ever met. Somebody commented and said, I've been a lifelong Bears fan for 60 years. And you...
60?
Yeah. Somebody said, you, sir, are the Packers fan that has the most class. I appreciate that. So I've gotten a lot of warm welcomes from Chicago Bears fans and Packer Nation. So
well, you've shown a lot of love to Caleb throughout the year, so I'll give you that.
I have. Although Kenny thinks I haven't. He still ridicules me for my Spencer Rattler take.
Well, I mean,
Your Spencer Rattler take was dog shit.
I made a graphic and I said after these amount of weeks, these are the quarterbacks in their second year that have been playing better. They've been playing the best.
Well, it was probably after like week 2.
Yes, and Rattler was high. And Kenny took that and thought I was making like a lifelong list. So, no, shout out to Kenny. I congratulated him on the victory. D-Mill, shout out to him.
D-Mill's video is hilarious.
It was hilarious.
Somebody quote tweeted it. They were like, this is how you beat when you were on a game with your friends and you don't want to wake nobody up. But it makes sense, though. D-Mills is a father.
Now.
Yeah, it makes sense. Nah, but shout out to them. The Bears' hard-fought victory. I got none bad to say about them, even though they know what it is. I mean, the Packers should have won.
It was Mickey Mouse.
The Packers are the better team.
And I got to hear all these Bears fans.
Oh, how's this take aging? How's it aging?
Jordan Love doesn't get knocked out of the game. And if Romeo Doubs just remembers that he's a wide receiver and that his hands work, game's over. But amazing plays by Caleb. His last drive was incredible.
My Lord.
And then an OT, that throw to DJ Moore was...
Sex. It was sex.
No, the hater of me was silent. I see the ball in the air, and my head I said, it's over. Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect. I have nothing bad to say about Caleb. He was awesome.
That throw, PFF, they have a chart where they grade big-time throws. That throw is one of the few throws in their entire database's history that they gave it a +2 for it. So it wasn't just one big time throw. That throw counted for 2
big throws.
That's how great the throw was.
Jesus H.
That was a game winner walk off.
It was a +2.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Very few quarterbacks have ever achieved that milestone, and Caleb has. There was a lot of great football we saw. I mean, shout out to the Bears for winning. Obviously I'm bitter about it, but I think we'll either meet them or the Eagles in the playoffs. It's going to be one of those two.
Mm-hmm.
So,
who would you rather play?
The Bears.
The Bears?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the Eagles own them.
We match up with the Bears better.
Okay.
Jeff Hafley had an amazing game plan, and I really think that their defense isn't anything to write home about. They force a lot of turnovers. We know that. But overall, I think the Bears defense, it's easier to move the ball against them than it is Philadelphia.
So you're saying they're sweet?
They're not sweet.
But they're sweeter than Philly.
They are sweetness. Walter Payne.
Shout out to 11.
Walter Payne coded, but the Eagles, they've beaten the Packers the last couple of times. Usually when the Packers have been really injured, and what are the Packers now? Really injured.
Wait, what?
When the Packers have been really injured.
That's the only time the Eagles have ever beaten them?
In the last 3 matchups, key injuries have affected the Packers.
Who is key injured?
Tucker Kraft.
Okay.
I mean, you're going to be playing injured more often than not in the NFL. It's just how it goes.
Rivers is dealing.
No, he's cooking and it's getting me going.
He's a legend.
I'll be honest with you.
He gets this. He puts up some points today. He'll be a legend.
Yes.
The recency bias is crazy because he was doing this in his heyday.
His heyday, yes. This isn't a heyday.
He looks exceptional. We're going to be live reacting to the game.
Simple stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Downs was wide open.
Wide open.
For those
No
watching the
20 yards
podcast,
to him.
we'll be live reacting to the game as it goes on. We're recording during Monday Night Football. John, how have you been?
I've been great. It's nice. I jumped on Christmas break this week. We got
Nice.
3 days left before Christmas. Happy holidays to everyone watching. I'm excited to be here. Got a lot of juice to talk about, so couldn't be more excited.
And you coming off a big win for your Pittsburgh Steelers.
We are.
Yeah.
Honestly, where does this win rank out of late season Mike Tomlin wins in the last 5 years?
It's up there at 2023 where we lost and dropped to 500 and won the last 3 games. I think this is very similar to that because the quarterback play looked horrendous, and then that final month, that final 5-6 week stretch, it comes alive. So I'd say it's up there. This is Mike Tomlin. His defense looking a lot better, but
Yeah.
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that Aaron Rodgers has played his 3 best games of the season in the last 3 weeks. And shout out to Kenneth Gainwell yesterday because him and Jalen Warren put on a show.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, whatever he does, he's always going to try to help out the Packers no matter what. And the Lions losing helped out the Packers. Now, the Packers only have to win one more game and they're in. If the Lions lose one more, then the Packers are in.
And the Packers got Baltimore this week, maybe without Lamar Jackson, but the Packers have their own, just Jordan Love. Who'd they play week 18?
Vikings.
Minnesota.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so even if they lose this week, Minnesota is a bit of a gimme.
At the end of the day,
Rival
man,
game. Come on, bro.
Did you see how they looked
Anything can
yesterday?
happen.
the Packers
Might be Matt
folded by
Rosmer.
choking the game because now they're going to be the 7th seed. But hey, it is what it is. The 2010 Packers won Super Bowl as a wildcard team. So I think that the same can remain this time. And actually, there's a funny coincidence. Shout out to my friend Sideline Scoop. He makes Packers content. There's a coincidence that the 2010 team that won the Super Bowl, Aaron Rodgers was concussed week 15, and the Packers ended up winning their last 2
Did
games.
Aaron Rodgers play week 16? Big if true.
Back in the day, probably. I mean, the parallels that we've been getting from these Packers teams, you know, the
Tucker
ages,
Kraft got
the big
hurt,
injuries, the specific weeks
The
it
age
happened
of the
to.
quarterback.
Here's the thing,
Can't
though.
forget
Charles
that.
Woodson and Reggie White didn't get injured.
Clay Matthews.
Yeah.
Either which one.
Yeah.
Reggie,
Yeah.
bit
You're
before
right.
that.
You're talking about the Brett Favre year. Yeah. I mean, I know. You know, the Packers team that year, they had their healthy stars healthy.
Yeah. This year,
They had their stars
unfortunately,
No
Packers
not gonna
Micah.
They lost their
It
best
ain't gonna
player.
happen.
It's
Best
not
player.
over. Jeff Hafley coached his defense to be in top
I
10
will
last
say
year.
this is one of the best your rush defense has looked in a while.
I think the Packers got a better chance than people give them credit for. But we got some things to announce. You know, this episode is sponsored by Poly Market. Shout out to Poly Market for sponsoring the Pick a Side podcast. We told you guys what it is last week. You know, we'll do some segments where we talk about their percentages and the chances that they have to do certain things as it relates to topics we're talking about. And 2 hoodies you see right now. I'm wearing the cream Pick a Side
Big
hoodie
fan.
with the brown lettering.
Member of the cream team.
We have the gray hoodie. This is a sample. Probably not going to sell this one just yet, but with the white lettering on it, we have another one that we're still waiting on the screen printing shop to get to us. It's a navy hoodie with cream Pick a Side lettering on it. So we're going to sell that and this one for the holidays.
If you want to see what they look like, go to Pick a Side Pod on Instagram. We have all of them on our story.
Yeah, and if I'm not lazy, I'll edit the pictures on the screen too here so you can see it. That
hold them on.
would be
Just
great.
pointed for nothing.
Yeah, not holding my breath. No, not happening.
Shout out to you though for directing them to another platform. But yeah, that's what we got going on. We probably are gonna have a pre-order, so once you guys order your hoodies, it's not gonna get to you right away, just because we want to make sure we're getting the right sizes for everybody. That was a problem last time. I feel like we got a lot of smaller sizes when the heavier ones sold out. But this hoodie is really nice. It's nice soft material. It's really cozy. And the other hoodie, the navy one, is more like a streetwear type of hoodie. So looking forward to that. That's just the news. And Phillip Rivers just threw a dot. Phillip Rivers is the man.
Alec Pierce.
That was an absolute perfect pass.
Alec Pierce is getting 20 mil this offseason, maybe more.
Is he going to be a Bronco?
He's going to be a Jets.
Ugh, that's the most jet player of all time, man.
Alec Pierce is hooping this year.
That's
Good
like
for
them
him.
getting Eric Dicker.
Eric Decker?
Eric Decker.
Come
my
on,
bad.
man.
Decker clears.
My bad, bro.
Come on.
Decker clears.
My bad.
No, Eric Decker
He
was
was awesome.
amazing.
He was a very good receiver.
And he was a rare good Jet, too.
Yeah,
Usually the Jets sign
Supported
someone,
an
they're
all-time
terrible.
quarterbacks, you know.
but
I
he
genuinely was
he
shocked
good.
he was as good as he was. You had him and
Pete
Brandon
Marsh.
at the same time.
Yeah.
me being the leader in Pick'em this year has made me approach my game scary.
Yo, I heard you talking about this on Joel Moran show, and I'm glad you're bringing this up because it bothered me. Genuinely, it bothered me.
It bothers me too.
Since when do you move caring about others?
Because I need to win this
He
year.
needs to play defense.
But Mr. Moran,
Exactly.
He's
I need to play defense.
You never win in life by listening to others. You got to trust you.
No, but there's a thing, like every single situation calls for a different game plan.
Right message, wrong messenger, by the way.
Every situation calls for a different game plan. When you gotta be aggressive, you gotta be aggressive.
You think Riv listens to anybody else but his brain?
He has to be aggressive though.
But do you think Riv listens to any outside noise? No.
But I'm not listening
Maybe
to
he should.
outside noise.
What do you mean maybe he should? He's ahead of you.
Whoa, I think I might have passed him. We're close.
I'm listening to my inner voice, and it's conflicting me.
Trust Mr. Moran.
Well, you're up by a decent clip.
Not anymore.
Well, it'd be only even after this week. I think we only gained one game on you.
I'm up by
2?
3 now.
Yeah.
Still, I'm up by
That's a
3 still.
decent clip.
I'm
I'm
saying
up
this
on
week.
Dell's
Fair
by
point.
4.
To be fair,
Yeah.
there's only 2 weeks left, so 3 is
And
a
I
good
folded,
margin.
not switching to Tennessee.
Am I in single digits now?
Back, you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Let's go. I made it respectable. I didn't embarrass myself. It was embarrassing at one point.
2 more weeks left.
I'm cooked. But I
You
got
look
into
so
single digits.
good that you look
I look
embarrassing.
bad.
That's what it is.
You guys
So
just
we're
went to the
doing great.
moon, and hey, kudos to you guys. I'm rooting for Riv. I'll be happy if you win too. It's anybody but him, respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, this as
Can't
the champion.
three-peat.
Exactly. You can't be the king.
Can't
But here's the thing, though, is that I know
I'll be impressed.
I know this for a fact that had I picked the teams that I was thinking of picking before the week,
Would have been in first place this week.
I would have lost every single one, and
do you
I would
mean?
have lost my place.
What do you mean? You said you
hindsight-
wanted Jags.
Exactly.
You said you wanted
But
Seattle,
I
didn't
know
you?
hindsight is 2020. But I know if I would have picked the Jags,
They would have
the
lost,
Broncos
you're
would have
saying.
won.
Oh.
It's just that's something that happened to me a lot last year, where I told you in the fourth quarter the games were lost for me.
Listen, bro, I believe. Hey, don't laugh,
Sorry,
all right?
my bad.
He's talking. Listen to him.
Like the Rams Seahawks game.
Fourth quarter
I felt
comebacks
good
just
about the
started- just
Seahawks,
started
but
last year.
if through the first 3 quarters, I'm
witching hour,
like,
it's real.
dude, I'm so dumb I didn't pick the Rams. That's what I would have been thinking through the first 3 quarters.
That's
and
what
then
I
the
was
Seahawks
thinking
pulled it
the
out.
whole time because I thought someone was gonna pick Seattle. I thought honestly half the group might pick Seattle on Thursday night.
You know,
I know what I'm
Everyone picked the
explaining.
Rams. I was like, I should have taken Seattle.
I know what I'm explaining is a way for me to have my cake and eat it too. But like the games that I felt upset potential for, Jaguars over Broncos, Seahawks over Rams. But the Seahawks-Rams was a coin flip game.
It was.
Even if you thought the Rams were really good, like the Seahawks, they had a chance for sure. And the Colts and Niners, just because the Niners defense is mid.
It's food.
And if
It's
there's a
food.
defense that Phillip Rivers can perform against, it's this defense. And he's balling right now.
I
So
wasn't expecting him to go. Did he even have an incompletion on the first pass?
I
was
have no
incompletion,
idea.
But other than that, he went
Oh, yeah.
4 for 4 after
and it was
that.
catchable too. Michael Pittman just got worked back to
It was
me.
definitely not catchable. 5 for 7 first drive. Not bad.
He's a legend, dog.
Nah, he's a legend, bro.
Shout out to the Chargers, bro.
Just Seattle's defense.
Shout out
that
to
first game
Phillip
had him-
Rivers.
had
Phillip
him
the
messed
man
up.
Rivers. But John, how are you feeling? I know I asked you earlier, but
did,
how are you
you did.
feeling again?
I'm feeling good.
You feeling
I'm
better
feeling
than
good.
before when he asked you the
I
first
haven't
time?
heard your voice in a couple minutes.
I don't know. That's a good question.
You know, Joel, I didn't. Which is fine. I didn't go last, so I didn't get the Mister. I was expecting John to get the Mister, but
I
it was no
know, it
Mister.
was
Is it because he's
no
just
Mister.
Oh,
because
I
he's
see.
young?
I see.
It
I
threw me
don't
off
know.
guard. Just see it in the intro. I was just like,
Young buck. Just
It just did not cross my mind at all. Yeah, but there's a lot of things to talk about on this show. We have the NBA Christmas slate coming on. We have the NFL Christmas slate coming up too. But all the games on NFL
it's
Christmas
a shame.
suck.
It's a shame because the Thanksgiving games were great. I think all of the Thanksgiving games had some, stakes on it. Even the Black Friday game. But yeah, this is gonna be a tough one because there's backup quarterbacks in every game. I think.
but last year it was the Texans and Ravens, if I'm not mistaken, and the Chiefs played who?
You guys, wasn't it?
No, I think
No,
it was,
I
was
don't
it
think
Dallas?
so.
Or I'm nuts.
No, that's Thanksgiving
They
this
played.
year.
I want to say they
whoops.
played the Steelers last year in Christmas.
That sounds
Chiefs.
right. Yes, that sounds very right.
Kelsey had a touchdown. I celebrated because I started.
Yeah, it was a very forgettable game. So
As Mark Cuban once said, pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered.
Mm.
That's kind of what the NFL is doing with the NBA, trying to steal Christmas from the NBA.
Oh.
And that should have been intercepted. Brock Purdy's
You literally just said Phillip Rivers, good ball. You should have caught that. Michael Pittman. He threw the exact same pass, except his receiver was good.
He's 20 years younger.
What the fuck?
He's 20 years
Phillip Rivers
younger.
is 45.
Oh my God.
He gets an old man
Pressure
tackle.
in his face.
Literally exactly what you wanted Pittman to do, Kittle did.
All I know is Ernest Jones.
And that's
is picking
actually a
that up.
good ball.
The linebacker misplaced that play 100%.
my God.
That's an interception.
Oh, it's a questionable ball, but you have George Kittle, so it's
It was
you make up
right
for
on
a
his
lot of it.
chest.
That's why Mac Jones is better, man. That's why Mac Jones is
Mac
better.
Jones does nothing better.
What does Mac Jones do better?
What does he do better? Sit
Checks
in the
down
pocket,
better.
check down.
He just checked it
He
down.
just checked it down.
Got him
Just
there.
shut up.
It's not a $50 million difference between the two.
Who's got a better
Wait till
arm?
Mac.
I think Mac might have a better arm.
All
Mac
right.
supported an all-time
Mac
college
does
season
have a
in
better arm.
Alabama. He's supporting an all-time rookie
College
season with the Jags.
football?
And he's supporting an all-time rookie season just last season.
All-time rookie season,
Brian
I
Thomas
guess.
Jr. He supported an all-time
did.
rookie season.
I
You
guess.
gotta
I
respect
can't even
Mac
say you're
Jones.
wrong. Like, you
It was
kind of
all
are
Mac.
right.
Mac Jones is one of the very best backups in the league. He can start for
Definitely.
some teams.
How many? 2 teams?
8?
8?
Yeah. 8.
Huh?
Could he
You can start for the Raiders. You can start for the Jets. Browns.
The
The
Dolphins?
Vikings? He couldn't start for the Vikings?
Dolphins.
The Colts?
He's better than
Colts.
Tua.
I mean, I guess. Daniel Jones when he's healthy. No. He's not.
I'll take Tua.
Are you confident in saying that?
40,
40 and
40,
slip.
40.
There you go. So shut up.
Are
Shut the fuck up.
you confident in saying that?
Yes. Mac Jones
I'm
never led
not
the league in
confident either in saying that either
yards.
than-
He was with the Patriots.
He never led the league in. He was on the Dolphins, who haven't won a playoff game in over 2 decades.
The Dolphins have a great offensive supporting cast with
What?
Tua there.
What?
Yes.
What did he just say?
Great receivers.
We just
And
read the numbers.
and a coach.
We just read the numbers. They are a
have-
bottom 10 unit in the league.
They have one of the best
They're
running backs.
well,
in
Well,
bottom
this
football.
year,
10
this
unit
year
in
was
the
the
top
worst.
5 running back
This
in
year was the
football
worst
this
because
That's
Tyreek
it.
got
So they
hurt.
have
Jalen
J-Chan.
Waddle, excuse me.
Is he going to be on the
Still
field
basking
healthy?
yesterday.
Is
He's
he?
been healthy.
He was hooping for a while. Then
Him
he
and
kind
Woody
of went
Marks
away
are
from the-
twins.
I do think
The
that Mac
pass.
Jones this year gets better results at quarterback than Tua in the same situation.
No.
I think so.
They do the same shit.
He
Well,
threw
Mac
to
doesn't lead the
Kendrick
NFL in
Bourne on Thursday Night
interceptions.
Football
I
and beat
don't
the
know.
Rams.
Hey,
The Dolphins
congrats.
are like, what are they, 6-8?
Yeah.
Mac Jones is going to be 8-6.
I'm
with
saying
them?
performance-wise.
Oh.
He definitely doesn't
many
choke against the
fucking-
Colts.
Well,
like
I mean,
what?
Tua's
Tua
been the
ain't
league in
bad.
interceptions. It's having by far his worst year.
He's
so.
been dog shit this year.
been horrible.
I can't even argue that he has.
I think
Has
that
been anything
I
better
think
than
8
dog
is
shit. He's been
valid
terrible.
for John to say because the Jets, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones potentially hurt. Mac
I'm
Jones
saying,
can start with the
I'm
Colts.
just assuming Daniel Jones. But like now, of course, he would start. With Daniel Jones, no, he wouldn't.
The Vikings, I
Gonna
think,
shoot
another
up.
good shout.
I don't hate it.
Do you think he's better than Michael Penix, Atlanta?
Yeah.
Without
Give me Mac.
Michael Penix, with him being
I don't
hurt,
know.
he
Kirk
definitely
Cousins has been
starts.
good this
Kirk has
Give me
been
Mac.
over Kirk. No,
Yeah.
no.
Where's the love for Kirk
Oh, in
Cousins?
Cleveland.
Last 2
Bro,
weeks
Mac
has been
Jones
great.
starts
I
in
said
Cleveland,
Cleveland.
too.
I said Cleveland.
Okay, yeah.
When he
Last
started
2
on
weeks,
Arizona?
Kirk's been really good. No.
Not over Kyler or Brissett.
No.
He's played
Jacoby's been
Tampa
better.
and Arizona.
You give him his flowers.
So with
him
injuries
his
to
flowers.
quarterbacks, he starts in about 8 teams in the league.
I'll say
Injuries.
6 to
If
8.
you count injuries, I will give you.
Well,
I'll
Daniel
give it to you.
Jones is out for a
like
good
I
part of
said,
the
and
if
if
you
we're
count
projecting
injuries, I'll give it to you.
Steelers next year, Rodgers if he's not there.
Okay, we're reaching now.
Who do you want the quarterback to be next year?
The
Aaron
Browns.
Rodgers. We said the Browns 3 times, but I agree. I think Rodgers should be the guy.
Oh, next year now. He's playing great football right now.
Why not give it one more year?
I watched him for half the season not play quick.
Well,
and he's
give
also
him
40.
One more year
2
with a
years
better
old.
offensive supporting
Correct.
cast. I would do it.
I don't want a 43-year-old quarterback next season. Just extending this
Thank you,
turnstile
John.
of one 40-year-old washed quarterback after another.
He's washed.
But he's a
Well, in
legend.
the last couple of years, we've cycled
He's
through washed
washed?
quarterbacks.
He's not washed.
He's playing good football now.
He's playing good now,
But
yeah.
cycling through one washed quarterback after another to then have Aaron Rodgers at
Your
42 and
offensive
43
line
years
was
old.
dog shit.
Well, it's played
Still
actually
kind- that's what I'm
played fairly
it's-
well. Dylan Cook at left tackle
There
playing
is
some good
a
ball.
correlation between good offensive line play
Well, no,
and
Rodgers
Rodgers
also
being
just shit the
successful.
bed. Also, Rodgers shit the bed.
When?
I mean, the Bengal game is turnovers cost us that game. We've had multiple other weeks where he was generally fucking terrible.
He was
Pardon
terrible.
my
Your
French.
offensive line was terrible.
And well, there's some moments too where it's holding on to the football for way too long. I'm really enjoying what Rodgers is doing right now. I think it's special, but
grateful.
this to me is quite clearly, yeah, I am grateful to watch.
No, ungrateful. You're
No,
being
but
ungrateful.
I'm also being
Tell him, Joel.
objective.
Joel, excuse me.
This is his last go around, and this season, I mean, I'm expecting us to lose in the wild card. When that happens,
Could
the
beat
way
the
it has the
Chargers.
last 9 years, Chargers are a better football team, and we saw that
Not
this
really.
year. I'm looking at this season no differently than the last 9 years of the Steelers.
John's
and
right.
Inevitably, when we get knocked down the wild card, most likely.
My God,
barring-
you're
I mean,
pessimist.
we're gonna host a playoff game, but I've also watched us host many playoff games and shit the bed.
Who hurt you?
The Steelers.
I've been a Steeler fan my entire life, and this being objective with you.
You've seen a Super Bowl in your life.
I saw us lose a Super Bowl, yes, and
You've
heartbreaking
seen a
as fuck.
Super Bowl in your life.
I saw us watch a Super. Well, yes, I wasn't really old enough.
You weren't old enough for the Cardinals Super Bowl?
I watched the Super Bowl. I didn't have a favorite football team when I was 5 years old. I
Damn,
became
you're
a Steeler
5.
fan in 2010.
I get it. My bad, bro.
So that was my first year watching sports.
So it's like
is
5
nuts.
versus
I was
7.
coherent.
Pardon me?
5 versus 7.
Correct.
Okay, so 7 years old, you became a Steelers fan. I understand. I mean,
I do
I
too.
just think John is a
Sorry,
pessimistic Steelers fan. I mean, every week you're trying to get Mike Tomlin fired. He just won his 200th game.
Yeah, because every single season Mike Tomlin does the bare minimum, and since he has an arbitrary win number, which is 8 or 9, we praise him. And I think the Steelers
Might get
team
10 this year.
The Steeler team
Maybe-
has.
maybe
Oh yeah,
11.
we're playing the Browns this
Could win
week. I
out.
expect us to win on the road. Every single year, I mean, Mike Tomlin's found a way in the second half to clutch up, and we've usually found a way to galvanize. And I think there's something to be said that players have played better in the second half. That being said, Mike Tomlin's accomplished nothing in the last 12 years, and I felt like after the Killer Bees era, where he won 3 playoff games with one of the greatest offenses of all time, and we gave him 7 straight years of first-round picks, and our defenses are always poor, I think he is an overrated coach in the sense that your side of the ball should not be in a constant state of chaos. It should be settled, and I think those years were very questionable. And so when you look at the last 9 years of Steeler football, I mean, as a fan, it's quite easy to say that it's clear every single year he's on the bare minimum, and yet he continues to come around. We were watching the same product year in, year out.
John's not alone. You know, me and Drew, 2 of our best friends, are Steeler fans. Shout out to Jer. Don't shout to Joey. They're Steelers fans, but they're split. Jer is ready to fire Tomlin. He knows all this is bullshit and that the Steelers are just the Steelers. Basically what John's saying. Joey, on the other hand, is the Steeler fan that made the playoffs. Oh my God, look at this team, da-da-da. And I feel like that's how the fan base is.
This is our best chance to win a playoff game hosting.
I texted that in our chat today. I said, if there's any year, it's this year.
This year.
They can get to the AFC Championship game.
Because it's wide
If
open.
things break their way.
But
I think
it
they
has
could win a
been-
game.
I
Who can they
thought the
beat?
same thing in
Other than the
2017 against
Chargers?
Jacksonville. And they scored 45 points on the road, and we got knocked out in a year we won 13 games. One of the greatest offenses I've ever
They could
seen.
beat us.
So,
They can beat anybody.
How could they beat us?
I don't think they could beat that.
Can
Pittsburgh
they-
beating Denver?
Huh?
I don't think so.
Can they beat the Patriots?
I'm not. Do you think I'm that crazy? No, I'm
No,
not
that's
that
what I'm
crazy.
saying. You guys cannot beat us.
The
respectfully.
Patriots,
That's what I'm asking.
maybe.
I just feel like
I'm not very high on the Patriots.
gotta-
I don't
you
I don't
gotta
think
enjoy
we're
the
forcing
season.
5 turnovers.
this is
you
the
can beat
best
the Bills.
quarterback
I can
play
see
you've
it.
been playing.
I can see you beating the
watching.
Bills. The defense is mid.
Yeah, I mean, we could run the football quite well on them. I just
Listen, it was this past week was
Steelers
impressive.
postseason.
The Lions game, the Lions won the most
We
potent
don't- we
offenses. You were able to keep up.
we don't win in January.
You don't,
You don't.
unfortunately.
Also, too, we have to see what TJ Watt looks like coming back off of this
Yeah,
injury, which is
shame.
a very big thing. So I'm a little bit skeptical of really the defense stepping up. And
But
I
really,
think-
post 2011, you didn't win in January, even with a Hall of Fame quarterback,
yeah, that is
even with
absolutely
a
best.
Hall of Fame receiver.
We had-
an All-Pro running
But
back.
there was at least a way, like you could see it. This team, you can't see it. You said they go to the AFC Championship game. I have no idea how that happens.
I think they definitely can win one playoff game. Like I feel 70% confident in that.
I think it's a coin flip. They win one. You're saying so. You're basically saying they're going to be favored. Like you, more likely than not, will take them in the first round of the
They've been
playoffs.
good, man.
They
They
no,
played
they
their
have
great
been.
football
Rodgers has
now.
been playing really well.
I don't hate it. I'm kind of getting
It
sold.
makes a lot of sense, and then you're going to watch a ludicrous turnover in the wild card, and the Steelers are going to find themselves down by 2 scores, and you're going to say the same
That
thing
would
you
be
do every
mad
single
Rodgers.
season.
That'd be like the most Rodgers thing.
Yeah.
Choking in the playoffs.
You know, it's
Sorry.
I feel. Listen, it could be much worse. It could be much worse. I mean, that's why I left the Jets. It could be very bad.
Yeah.
And some people have told me it's unacceptable. Some people have told me that I thought it was unacceptable until you told me you were a Jets fan. And then I said, okay, I understand. And then somebody was like, if you switch your team, you can never be trusted. And somebody also said, well, actually, I want to respond to that because then I said, so you can't trust Tom Brady because he switched his team. And somebody responded back to me and they were like, well, Tom Brady, 20 years, Patriots, dynasty, all that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he left a great situation.
There
I
was
left a
also
bad
a rift
one.
between him and Belichick. It wasn't just like Brady was like
He left a
"Peace."
great situation.
And that situation was great as kind.
Yeah.
Tampa
In-
Bay
Very
situation
kind.
was
In
a
the
lot better.
totality of it, right? But yeah.
It's a great
That-
organization because of
Yeah,
him.
that Patriots situation was dog shit at the end, just like the Jets situation was dog shit. Well, not only at the end, throughout the entire
They
time.
started
It's
like
always been
7-0.
I mean, Aaron Glenn sent Rodgers packing and was like, "Yeah, Justin Fields gives us a better chance to win football games this year."
I guess
Well,
we have
the Jets don't have their coach. That's what we know now.
we have
But
2 less wins with Rodgers, without Rodgers, and with them. I mean,
Bro, I don't think that Aaron Glenn is safe past this year.
I think he is. Should he be? I think it's a conversation. I think
he's
he
done
is.
nothing to earn that.
The
level
defense
of
is garbage.
You got to
safety,
like.
bro.
they traded everybody. You think they're going to trade everyone, and then what do
When
you?
they had everybody.
No, I understand.
I don't disagree with you, John. I'm not sitting here being like Aaron Glenn's the guy. They got it right, but he's a Jet legend. This is someone that Woody really likes. And how do you look as an organization? You hire Aaron Glenn, you bring him in, and I agree. The defense was bad with Sauce and Quinnen. You let this regime trade them, and then you fire them. How do you?
I agree
you know
with
what
that
I mean?
line of thinking, but it's like the blind leading the blind in this scenario.
Listen, I'm not sitting up here pounding my fist for Aaron Glenn. I don't think he's done enough to prove it. But that's why next year's scary, because if you don't win like 6 or 7 games, like you should be fired.
Well,
And that's
here's the
scary.
thing. The Jets are so bad that they can't or don't have leeway to make objectively, potentially the correct decisions because they don't have any equity built on trust with national media or the fan base or anybody for that matter. The Patriots, they saw Jerome Mayo 1 year and they said, get this guy the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then they hired Mike Vrabel and they turned around and you see what's happening right now. But they had the leeway. They caught backlash for it, but they had the leeway to say, listen, bro, we know what the hell we're doing. We're the Patriots. The Jets, they don't have that leeway to fire a coach who played for their team too.
Yeah. No, I'd be shocked.
The Jerome Mayo hire was also because that was Belichick's heir apparent that he named. It was sort of, it felt
like
like
in
when
the
the
contracts.
Texans, it felt like when the Texans hired David Coley, it was a 1 year hire and it wasn't right to be doing that. But New England did cut their losses, and I feel like if I'm the Jets right now, I don't expect them to fire Aaron Glenn, but I'm looking at 2 or 3 head coaching candidates I'd be a lot more comfortable with long term, based off the fact that Aaron Glenn showed you nothing this season, and this defense, the fact 15 weeks without a single interception,
NFL history.
Ludicrous.
What the hell do you practice, bro?
When Robert Saleh came in, the defense had like a direction. There was a little bit of a vision. I just don't see it right now.
To be fair, though, the defense wasn't shit till year 2. But also, the team was a lot worse than what the team started with this year.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Let's talk about some great things. And that's that the Jacksonville Jaguars entering the Broncos game on Polymarket, they had a 9% chance to win the AFC.
Oh, wow.
After the game, they have bumped up to 16%.
That's pretty
almost 17%. And after the game now, they have an over 80% chance to win the AFC South. And all of these charts and the movements based on people's predictions have swayed in this amount of time. So you can argue the Jaguars did a lot to convince the public that they are legit, that they are for real, that Trevor Lawrence is playing like a top-end quarterback, and you got to worry about Denver a little bit out there and that defense getting exposed.
I won't disagree too much with what you just said. Got to give credit where it's due. Jacksonville has been one of the hottest teams in football. Since acquiring Jacoby Myers, has been one of the most explosive offenses in football. And that's paired with Trevor Lawrence playing some of the best football he's played in his NFL career. I said this after the game, and I wasn't just saying this to poke fun at what has been Trevor Lawrence's career. This is the best he's looked since his sophomore year. He's the most confident, most accurate, most explosive. He's been excellent. And he was excellent yesterday against my Broncos. Listen, we had to lose sometime. Would it have been nice to go and on this amazing win streak, win the Super Bowl, never lose a game? It would have been awesome. We had to lose eventually. It sucks that it had to be yesterday's game because it could mean something down the stretch when it comes to seeding. Patriots, they don't seem like they're going to lose for the rest of the season. The Jaguars look like one of the hottest teams. Texans are another team that they just don't lose football games. It's going to be close, so you needed this one. Credit to Jacksonville. They put their foot on the gas. They never took it off. Trevor was excellent. I thought that he was clutch in every single third down situation. They were getting big plays. Parker Washington was huge in this game. Great. He fried Jaquan. He fried Riley Moss. Riley Moss couldn't tackle yesterday. There is cause for concern for our defense a little bit. I was concerned in the Packers game, and I said that to you prior. When Jordan Love was doing whatever they wanted in the pass attack, they were torching us. And then you tested Surtain, and after that moment, we shut it down. So then I kind of was like, okay, let me not overreact. Our defense is still amazing, even though the last 2 weeks, we hadn't looked our best. But now against Jacksonville, who's a great offense, I'm not trying to throw them under the rug like this is like, oh my God, I'm panicking because we got gashed by Jacksonville. That's not it. But for what they've shown us post-bye week, I'm a little concerned about our defense. Our secondary hasn't been what it's been. That's the main concern for me. I think our rushing defense has been solid over these last few weeks, but our secondary, which has been our bread and butter, yesterday didn't look great. Brandon Jones was missed terribly. PJ Locke looked horrendous. Hufanga, who's been really good, he didn't have himself a great game yesterday either. Just give credit where it's due. Jacksonville has been a great team, and they continued it yesterday. It's been unfortunate because since the bye week, roles have reversed for the Broncos. Our offense has been incredible. Bo Nix has been great. I think RJ Harvey's been pretty effective in his own right. Cortland Sutton has been excellent. I thought Troy Franklin's been a positive. Prayers for Pat Bryant. Yes. Took an unnecessary hit late in the game. It was really devastating to see. Really well. I really hope that he's okay. He's really been a great addition to our squad. But he's been released from the hospital. It's seeming like everything's trending positive, which is huge. But sending love his way. Offense looked great against a really strong defense. It's just our defense looked shitty. And that's really unfortunate in what was a great game until it wasn't. Thing is, Jacksonville never stopped. Late in that fourth quarter, which hasn't been complete opposite for us. We've been mid in that first half, turning on the second. We didn't show up in the fourth quarter, which was unfortunate. But credit where it's due. Jacksonville deserves to have their percentages increased the way that they have on Polymarket. AFC South, it looks like it's theirs because I don't know if Jacksonville's going to lose a game rest of the season.
This was their biggest test. This was their biggest game left.
100%.
Yeah, I think we talked about this on last week's episode that this game meant a lot for Jacksonville, and obviously it meant something for the Broncos too, but coming off the Packers win, it's like, all right, I think no matter what happens, Denver's still the favorite, and to me, they still are the favorite. But I mean, not by much, you know what I mean? Like, the AFC's so open, right? Like, Denver, to me, if I had to put it in order, would be my number one team in terms of who do I think is most likely to come out of the AFC. But then it's like 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. There's not many teams in the AFC that have separated themselves. And at this point, it's who's getting hot at the end of the season. You know, like what quarterback's playing the best? What defense is causing turnovers? What coaching staff do you trust the most? Right now, it's Jacksonville. I mean, since week 11, since the brutal, just terrible loss to Houston, Trevor Lawrence is number one in e-paper play and number one in success rate. Like, this is the passing offense that the beginning of the season, the defense was causing turnovers and being elite. Travis Etienne was excellent. Yeah. And we're like, listen, it's looking good, but the passing offense still hasn't figured it out. And all of a sudden, over the last 5 weeks, it's been the number one passing attack in the NFL. Yeah. And a lot of that I was skeptical of just because of their opponents, right? They were going up against Arizona, Tennessee, the Jets, just opponents that either had nothing to play for, bad defenses, or a combination of both. But now you went into Denver, the hottest team in football, with one of the best defenses in football. Now it's, okay, what do you got? And I thought to start the game, they were a little shaky. I thought, they went 3-and-out early. But as the game went on, Trevor just got more comfortable, and that crowd was loud.
It was
the
loud,
camera was shaking. You couldn't hear anything. And it just felt like as the game went on, he got more and more confident, super accurate. He was decisive. It was one of the best games Trevor Lawrence has ever played. Yeah. And he's on a stretch right now playing some of the best football of his career. And in a year that we're talking about all year long, that it's wide open. Yeah, I mean, this is a team that can cause turnovers. It's a team that when the quarterback is right, he can play at an elite level. Travis Etienne had been great. We said it after week 4. Liam Cohen seems like a home run in terms of head coach. So, I mean, just a super impressive win from a super impressive team. Houston, we got a lot of love recently, deservedly. But I think this win puts Jacksonville above them, at least for me, because I do trust their offense more when it comes down to it. Houston has shown us some things in the last few weeks. Had a bit of a scare this past Sunday against the Raiders. They just snuck out of that with the win. And I think you still trust Houston's defense more. They're the first, second best, third best in the NFL, however you want to put it. But right now, Jacksonville is up there with anyone in terms of elite offense, elite defense, and a quarterback that's playing at a high level. So, super impressive win.
Last thing I'll say, John, now I'll kick it to you. This has been a season highlighting why moving off your current head coach for a young up-and-coming guy may start to become a new trend. Because Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, although I'll never disrespect
Campbell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Gerard Mayo.
Mike Vrabel.
No, not Vrabel. McDonald. The fact that that you had these guys in the building, and now they're going on to other franchises, and now they're elevating them to now being playoff teams. It's like, exactly. Yep. It's going to be something that we look at for the future. It's not going to be nuts to see head coaches fired for a guy that's currently on staff.
I saw Nico Elite Takes make that point.
Oh, did he?
It's so true. If you look at the Ravens right now, you'd much rather have Mike McDonald coaching that team to me. And when we talk about the Jaguars, I think this game said more about Jacksonville than it did Denver.
Definitely.
You can have some points and cases on Denver, but what Jacksonville is looking like right now, they're the AFC version of the Chicago Bears. Early in the season, they established themselves, kind of surprising a lot of people by being one of the best teams in the NFL generating turnovers. They're third this year in turnover differential, and the run game is so good early on. But over these last 4 weeks, we've seen the run game has not been the specialty. What it's been is the passing attack, and that's the last layer, which we didn't see early in the season. It was up and down, and Trevor Lawrence is playing his best football right now since 2022. When they won 5 straight games, they sneak into the playoffs, they end up beating the Chargers in the wild card. And when you look at the entirety of this team, they're going to go as far as Trevor Lawrence takes them. But when he's playing at this sort of level, when he's playing at this elite level, which we have not seen, we've seen in moments, last 4 weeks, he's been awesome. You're looking at a Jaguar team that can go on a playoff run. I still feel like you need to see some level of, I want to see the run game be a little more consistent. That's one of my kind of skepticisms with this team. But when you have guys like Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers playing as well as they have, it's very cool to look at it in that lens, because coming the season, for someone to say to you the Jaguars would be a playoff team coming the year, be like, all right, Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter would be the 2 players that are making the biggest difference. And it has not been that whatsoever. Travis Hunter, of course, being out for the rest of the season, get well soon. It's been Parker Washington thriving, Brandon Strange playing well coming off injury, and then Jacoby Myers being that reliable safety blanket. So it's awesome to watch how the Jaguars are playing right now.
Myers was able to just have every receiver in the room play in their role. Brian Thomas Jr., I thought a lot of his struggles early in the year was that he was being used inside a lot, and he just braced for a lot of hits, and he wasn't comfortable taking the shots that he was taking early on. And you saw that in the way that he played. Now he's more of just a vertical X receiver where he's kind of the sacrificial lamb. Sometimes he'll have a great game, but he is not the focal point in getting involved in those middle of the field routes where you are usually running into defenders. He's usually running away from defenders, and I think that's opened up his game. And Parker Washington has been a bright spot. He had a ton of great plays. He was the best receiver on the field for Jacksonville against the Denver Broncos. And Trevor Lawrence, 10 touchdowns, 0 turnovers over the last 2 games. People questioned his level of play because of who he was going up against. And he needed this type of performance to showcase to everybody how great he's been, how far he's come, but also the Jaguars offense is a wagon. There were plays that they called against the Jets that had the Jets looking like a G League team. Yeah. It was embarrassing. Yeah. And I know they're awful, but then he does the same thing to the Denver Broncos. But like the Denver Broncos, there were moments where they played great defense, but Trevor Lawrence fit in a touchdown ball to Parker Washington on his inside shoulder with a defender draped all over him. The throws that he was making, they were beating coverage. And this is why I said last week I think the Jaguars are more dangerous than the Texans because they're a more balanced football team. I cannot trust an offense that cannot generate drives. And that is what Houston is. If they get a favorable matchup against a weak defense, then yeah, maybe they can, right? But overall, we're asking that defense to win slugfest 16-13, which we know they're capable of. But the Jaguars have shown on 2 occasions now they can light up that Texans defense. And their defense themselves is really good. And Trayvon Walker made a great play in the run. He made some nice plays also pressuring the passer. So I think the Jaguars are clicking at the right time. And there's no reason why they can't come out the AFC. We saw them against the number 1 team in the AFC coming into this week, and then they beat them convincingly. And Denver's defense is really falling off.
We shot ourselves in the foot. I think, yeah, we could argue that our defense hasn't looked what it looked like in the beginning of the season. I think that that's obvious. I think that the roughing the passer on a dead ball, which was an unfortunate play because the stadium is rocking. It is loud as can be.
Oh, yeah.
Player doesn't hear the whistle. He rocks Trevor off the edge.
That was on 3rd down, wasn't
it? It was, and then that's a first down. That actually leads to a touchdown drive for Jacksonville. And I'm not taking anything away from Jacksonville. Like I said in my opening, they were excellent. They converted on a lot of 3rd and shorts, 3rd and longs. They were just clutch situationally. Trevor getting outside the pocket. We shot ourselves in the foot on multiple occasions. We can't get off the field on 3rd down. And then offensively, that fumble exchange between Bo Nix and the running back, after that, the Jaguars go and they score again. There was no bailing us out. There was no bailing us out on any level because Jacksonville was capitalizing on all of our mistakes. And when a team's playing like that, virtually they're unstoppable, which is why all I can do is tip my cap to Jacksonville. They look like a legitimate threat.
And it wasn't just that, but in the 4th quarter, it was a 14-point game. Denver's driving down the field. I'm like, okay, here we go again.
For
You know,
literally.
like, it's like Denver, this is what they've been doing. It's
100%.
been a while, but this is what they've been doing, you know, coming back in these fourth quarters.
And then extra an interception.
Fourth down, maybe not the best throw, but either way, it would have been very easy for Jacksonville to let up a touchdown there. All of a sudden,
that is what killed the game, essentially.
It was
the nail in the coffin.
it was
fourth down, but I get it. I didn't love the throw.
Yeah,
I didn't love the throw.
It was fourth and short, which was
there
why I was surprised.
there was two receivers open.
It was a surprising throw. But,
It was.
But either way, that was Jacksonville stepping up, making a play. Because Denver had shown all season long that they could come back. 2 touchdowns, I don't know, 6, 7 minutes left, however long it was. More than enough time for Denver to score a touchdown, get a stop, get the ball back. But it was just Jacksonville making a play like they've been doing all season long. So I know Jacksonville fans, shout out to our guy Brett, they've been waiting on us to give them their respect. And really the NFL world give them their respect. And we said it last week, like, listen, you've been playing great. But you've been playing great against terrible teams. Now you beat Denver. You got my attention. You got my respect. This was, one of the more impressive wins on the season. Their most impressive win of the season, right up there with the Kansas City game early in the year. Yeah. And you're getting hot at the right time. There's really no reason. Goddamn, Alec Pierce again, $25 million. Give him. There's no reason why this team can't beat anyone in the AFC.
Jaron Jones is amazing. That's the guy who made a play on an interception. The Jaguars just did a great job at stalling momentum from the Broncos in certain aspects because the Broncos have been a team that in the fourth quarter, things would swing their way. Their defense is so good that they could force quick 3-and-outs, and that's what would give them a lot of momentum in their fourth quarter comebacks. And then the Jaguars defense stepped up in a big moment, making multiple stops. In the second half, the final 5 meaningful drives, so the drives before the final drive that didn't mean anything for the Broncos, it was a punt, a turnover on downs, interception, fumble, and a field goal. The Jaguars essentially shut down their offense in the second half. And the Broncos defense I'm concerned about because I think that they have some real legitimate holes. I think the pass rush has been weaker in recent weeks, but that's also a testament to Jacksonville's offensive line. I thought that Vance Joseph dropped Nick Bonito in coverage far too often.
I was going to say, our defensive line's still been great. It dominated you guys.
Bonito, offensive line, entirely made up of backups.
It dominated you guys.
When we were healthy, you were not dominating us in that game.
It also was huge in us beating the Commanders.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I think
it
their
was bad this week.
Defensive line, it didn't play well. Nick Bonito admitted that he didn't play well.
It's true.
I think the linebackers, Dre Greenlaw, I think he's still
hamstring
working
injury.
back.
Did you see that?
I did not.
Right at the very end of the game, he's going to tackle ETN, pulls up on a hammy.
Damn.
So the Broncos linebacking core is a bit vulnerable now. And listen, I want to give credit to Riley Moss because, listen, there are times that he's good and there's times that he's just really bad, though.
He's in a tough position. Like you're
playing
CB2
against
against
the game.
Listen, man, I think that is something that can be used as an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like, I don't think he is a solid stamped corner 2 for a lot of other football
We're talking
teams.
a lot about Riley. Jaquan was the one getting gashed.
Yeah, he didn't play well either.
Jaquan's usually money. He
Barron
was
didn't play well
horrible
either.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Barron was also bad yesterday too. Jaquan had his first game where I'm watching noticeably and I'm thinking, not good.
And this is where I think
happens.
that the Broncos tried to plan around this weakness early in the offseason. Because when they drafted Jade Barron, it was a question mark.
That's true.
It was, okay, well, they got some solid corners. I mean, you can play opposite of a great corner and still be great. Kamari Lassiter is a perfect example of that. Riley Moss just gets picked on way too often. And outside of Surtain, offenses aren't scared at anybody. They all have red dots on them, and they're going to get picked apart. And Jade Barron, this is why they drafted him in the first round, because they understood their cornerback room was the weak link. And they needed to get a guy with high draft pedigree to go and be that corner that can really solidify them. And he's been really inconsistent this year. Yeah. Like, there are moments where he's shown brilliance. There are moments where he's really struggled. It hasn't been a plug and play Philadelphia drafting Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. And now it's all set in stone. It is rare. And Denver tried. And I'm not saying Denver didn't. They tried. But now we're seeing these weaknesses start to pile up, and the defense has been the weak link more so than the offense in recent weeks. Although Knicks does have 6 turnover-worthy plays over the last 2 weeks. Just saying. There's
always a stat.
Hey, he's gotten away with
4
some
of them are in
turnovers.
one game.
But I do think I don't know, Drew, maybe you could speak to it.
Mhm.
If I'm a Denver fan, I think I would rather the defense be a little questionable and Bo Nix playing like this because we have 2 years basically of the defense being at a top 5 level and a great coaching staff and still have great talent on the team where, okay, the defense hasn't been itself the last, I don't know, what do you say, month of season since the bye week.
Just a couple weeks,
But Bo Nix is playing great. Like, Bo Nix, he had a couple turnover-worthy plays. He had the 4th down, but he is hooping right now.
Yeah.
What's going on, pal?
Even with the turnover-worthy plays, he's playing well. I don't think he's not playing well. I think he's playing well.
So, Joel, I agree. I'm happy that the offense is playing well, and this is with a supporting cast that we all will agree is
not the best.
About average. If you want to take our offensive line into account, that's why I put us at average. Yeah. So, because our offensive line is the best. So, yes, I'm happy that our offense is playing well because it had struggled so much early on that now it's the one that actually is doing the heavy lifting. Our defense will come back to its normal status. I do believe that. But in the offseason, where I get concerned with that is we try and strengthen up the defense because that's what we know is our bread and butter. Is like, hey, we just have a few holes. Let's spend some money here. Let's go and let's give Leo Chanel 45. Let's go and let's bolster up the secondary. Let's go and let's get another defensive lineman. And let's forget about Bo Nix needing another weapon. Let's go and forget about Bo Nix needing a tight end. That's what my concern is. I think that we're going to obviously do what we need to do to help Bo Nix this offseason. I hope. But this is also the first offseason we're going to have real money. We're finally free from the shackles that is Russell Wilson's insane contract. So we're finally going to be in a position where we can put real money to clean up the margins. So us being great this season is going to be, one, huge for free agents that are going to say, hey, I like what they're building over here. We can go and we can win a championship. That's huge. But 2, show me growth. And all the Broncos have done this season is show me growth on both sides of the ball. Our defense falling off a little bit. That's okay. We're still a youthful team. We have time. But I agree with you. I would rather my second-year quarterback and the offense get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, he's playing great right now.
I mean, speaking of money, Trevor Lawrence's contract is a godsend.
I saw you post that. I can't believe the cap hits.
His cap hits are extremely low for a quarterback that's performing as well as him. I think this year is like 17 million. Next year is like 25 million. And it's 34 million. It's 3 years of high-level quarterback play at a fraction of a cost, something that Daniel Jones could get in like the open market. Okay. So, I mean, it's not a shot at him. I'm just saying, like a quarterback coming, like Justin Fields got 20 million per year
get 20,
for 2 years. So Trevor Lawrence is balling right now. I think the Jaguars prove that they can make it far in the AFC and they should be taken as a serious threat. Another team had a great victory, and that was the Chicago Bears. They beat the Green Bay Packers.
What a game.
And listen, man, maybe the way they're winning, you're not completely sold on, but maybe you are.
Can't keep getting away with it. They just can't. They've
been getting away with it for 15 weeks.
So if they can't keep getting away with it, then where do they fall in the NFC playoff picture? What is their ceiling? What do you see the best possible outcome for the 2025 Chicago Bears being in a playoff setting?
If this team makes it to the NFC Championship game,
there's a path.
I'm just gonna not believe in anything anymore.
Because there's a path for them to get the 1 seed. One
True.
seed means you likely
just gotta
avoid
win one game.
Seattle versus or the Rams in the second round.
Yep.
And you beat, Green Bay or Carolina, Tampa, whoever it might be in the second round. You're right there. I think. Listen, the Chicago has its faults. They're going to have their faults. The defense is going to have its issues. Caleb is going to be inaccurate from time to time. But I mean, Jesus, like this is why I'm never going to give up on Caleb. Like this is why I think anyone who was giving up on Caleb or just questioning him, I'm like, dude, like it's so obviously there. Yeah. Like it's been impossible all year long for me to watch the Bears and Caleb Williams and be like, it's not going to work. And he was far from perfect. Like he wasn't perfect or any means in that game. But the last drive of regulation after the onside kick, the last drive in overtime, the crazy touchdown to DJ Moore, he just got it, man. Like, he's just got it. One thing to me, like, I saw this with Lamar and Hurts, it's like, mental toughness is big. What you talk about in the press and at the podium is big. I feel like Caleb Williams is A+. I feel like he never rattles. I feel like when it comes to every single time, it's the post-game, go Bears at the end. He says we have the best coaching staff in the world. All of that shit matters for a franchise quarterback. And Caleb, A+, every time to that little stuff. So now it's just on the field. It's just being accurate. It's being consistent. And even a lot of the inaccuracies, I know the completion percentage is under 60% this year. Maybe it's over after last game.
It's under.
It's still under. A lot of it still is him making 4 people miss in the backfield and throwing the ball away. He didn't take a single sack.
No, he was OD in the pocket.
He didn't take a single
he was
sack.
OD.
this past Saturday against the Green Bay Packers. I know no Micah Parsons, whatever. But to take not a single sack, regardless of who you're playing, is impressive as a quarterback. So he was just great in that game. And he's what gives this team a ceiling. You know, like they're going to run the shit out of the ball. They'll probably get a turnover or two in the playoffs. But what we saw in the fourth quarter and overtime from Caleb Williams is why, if you're a Bears fan, you could talk yourself into an NFC Championship game.
Absolutely. I don't know if you want to go first because I'm kind of right on the same line as Dell's.
NFC chip.
I'm not saying NFC chip. However, when you look at this team that's currently the second seed, what they have done all season long, and they are ahead of schedule. They are not a complete football team. Caleb Williams this year has shown so much brilliance, so many great moments. With that, he also has the lowest expected completion percentage in the NFL. There's still a lot for this team to improve on, and there's still a lot to grow in the passing game. But the one thing with the Bears that you cannot take away this season is that if you give them an ounce of daylight, if you make one mistake, when Romeo Doubs bobbles that onside kick, and you let them into the game, they can beat anybody. They have an identity. They're a well-coached team. And this NFL this year, where there's not that clear top dog, we saw the Commanders last year go to the NFC Championship game. Stun the Lions, a team that was the first seed. Most people had them. Oh, it's a shoo-in. Give me Detroit in this game. But every single year in the playoffs, we see something crazy happen. And when I look at this Bears team, it is a reassuring sign to see Caleb Williams in the clutch play as well as he has. But then they're hinging that with the identity they do have. I thought the Packers did a great job containing the run. And they're one of like the few teams this year that have actually been able to slow it down. But when you look at the job that Ben Johnson has done in 1 year, this is one of the craziest turnarounds we've seen. And people always chalk up turnovers to just pure luck. It's not purely entirely luck that they are number one in the NFL this year in turnovers and also turnover plus minus. I think that is something that in these playoff environments that can put you up 1 or 2 possessions. And when this Bear team has a lead, they are very hard to beat. And we've also seen them come back from behind time in and time out.
They play hard, and I feel like they are a very tough team. They hit hard. I haven't felt their hits, but I can hear the noises from the TV.
When it gets to a point, like, what are we glazing?
When
like,
the Packers players get hit, you feel it a little bit, you think?
I definitely have felt it.
We're glazing hard hitting that we don't know about. We're glazing press conferences.
It's true.
But Bo Nix is flawless. It's you know what? Let me not do this. I'm not trying to make it into a Bo Nix Caleb thing ever again.
Press conferences matter for quarterbacks.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is buttoned up to the T.
No, I never. Did I ever say he wasn't?
I don't know, but you never mentioned it when you talk about Bo Nix. Or
he doesn't speak better
I don't
than
mean to
Caleb.
put a damper on this, but like Justin
You know what I
Fields
mean?
is
He don't
very
speak
good
better
at
than
press.
Don't speak better than Caleb.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel like every once in a while, it's just the Jets. I don't know.
So, like, what are we comparing?
Nix has a little bit of lisp.
Does he?
Yeah, Caleb speaks eloquently.
I
we're
can't believe we're doing this.
This is what we're doing, John. That's where I'm at.
He was
That's
at
what
a
I'm
community
saying.
event.
Like,
And
what are we glazing?
He wore a
really?
cheese grater hat at a community event in Chicago.
That actually
It was
moved
hard.
me. That moved me.
kind of
See,
funny.
there's things that moved me. Not the fucking press conferences. Not the
matters.
fucking
He definitely has-
hard-hitting noises.
It matters,
No,
man.
what moves me is him being game time when you needed him.
and
That
Caleb has
moved
better
me.
skin too.
All right,
He does
all
have
right.
beautiful skin.
All right.
Can we?
He uses great
talk
moisturizer.
ball.
Can we
probably.
please?
He should drop a get ready with me. I want to know what his skin routine is.
You could say he has better skin, but when Bo Nix links up with Accutane and he gets that bag, you better watch it. He'll be the poster child for acne. Respect him. Nevertheless, what moves me was being clutch. And that's what he was on prime time Saturday night. He was excellent. That throw to DJ Moore was one of the best this season. That last drive to go ahead and put them in a position to tie the game to go on to overtime. One, I was shocked by the decision that they didn't go for 2.
Especially with the wind. Santos was great all game, but even still.
They were just
I
feeling
thought they
it.
were going for 2.
They were just feeling it to a point where there was like, you know what? I trust our guys. We're going to go into overtime and we're going to win this game. Respect.
I mean, I was fearful that they were going to go for 2 in that situation. I just felt like at that point,
They could have gone.
They
for 2.
had
I
a
thought
lot
they
of
could have won
momentum.
Right there. 100% agree.
the Bears, like I said, though, they play hard. They play physical. I think the addition of C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been huge for their just morale and their attitude. They really play with the feistiness that I think has led to them being the league leader in turnovers. I think their turnover margin on both sides of the ball is why they've been so successful. They're second in turnovers committed on offense. They're first in defense. So that helps taking care of the ball, but also taking it away from other teams.
Yep.
And it has masked a lot of inconsistent play with the team. You know, the passing game has been inconsistent. I thought that Caleb really didn't have a lot of places to go with the ball because he was dealing with a lot of makeshift receivers that didn't understand the offense as well as Adunze or Burden have. Because Burden, he really broke out against the Browns. And that was a game where you looked at and said, okay, if his role is this moving forward, we could see some real flashes and
He's
potential.
gonna be special.
I think that's what makes Chicago in the playoffs dangerous is that when they're healthy, the receivers are healthy, it's going to be really tough to stop. And their offensive line gives them such a floor to where they can ground and pound you to death. They can run the football well. And if Caleb and the receivers are connecting and in sync in the playoffs, it's going to be an offense that is going to be very tough to stop. That defense is still vulnerable, and turnover luck has been on their side, but the Packers had pretty much successful offensive drive whenever they wanted to on that defense. It was that great that the Packers were playing. And in a game where I thought Green Bay played better for maybe 90% of it, the 10%, which what mattered and ended up deciding the game, is why Chicago ended up winning. So I think that there's some unsustainability to how they've been winning football games, but I do think that there are other areas that can pick up to make up for that if they don't get the turnovers, they don't get these plays at the end of games. They can be more consistent through 4 quarters. There are ways that can happen, that they can be a really tough out for some teams.
Giving the Bears a lot of love. Malik Willis deserves a lot of love.
Hell
too.
yeah.
He was fantastic in that game. You know, obviously prayers to Jordan Love. Hopefully he comes back from
He would have been the
concussion.
story of the game if the Packers won.
But yes, I mean, Malik Willis, who has obviously gets drafted to Tennessee, took a lot of lumps there. He was not ready to be a starting quarterback. And since he was a 3rd-round pick, he was the 2nd quarterback after your boy Kenny Pickett, was forced to start early in his career, obviously wasn't ready, has been with LaFleur now for a couple of years. And every time he has to step in, he runs the offense well. Obviously, different quarterback than Jordan Love. He's a lot more mobile, but still has a good arm. He's accurate, good decision maker. Didn't really put the ball in harm's way hardly at all. Of course, they had the fumble at the end of overtime there that screwed them. But Malik Willis would have been the storyline. You know, if the Bears didn't win this game, it would have been a lot about what happens with Jordan Love. Malik Willis, you could probably, last another week because you're going up against Baltimore next week and Lamar starting all of this. But before we moved on, I just want to give Malik Willis love because he's going to be a free agent after this year, I think.
Yes.
There's going to be teams. He's going to get $20 million a year. I'm not saying anything like that.
He's better than Justin Fields.
But Justin Fields got $20 million a year, and I would much rather have Malik Willis than Justin Fields right now. So shout out to him, and shout out just, the coaching staff for the Packers being able to develop him into minimum a high-level backup who you're going to need no matter what quarterback it is. He's probably going to get hurt at some point in halftime. You're going to have to put the backup in. Can he go win a game? And he was more than good enough to win them that game.
Whenever backup quarterbacks come in and play really well, it always sparks a controversy. Instead of just acknowledging a quarterback that's a backup might just be good. And Jordan Love is clearly the franchise
One
guy.
of the causes,
the
main
franchise.
reasons for that.
You did say the Packers have 2 franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do. I don't like when they do with Jordan Love and try to disrespect his name. I don't like
People
when they play
are calling
around
for
with
his
his
job.
name. I don't like when they
get
play
fired.
around with his name.
We see how with maybe some other teams, but
Malik Willis, I think that he's going to be a good starter once he gets his opportunity to start full time. When he got subbed into the game, I had no doubt he was going to play well. I didn't lose any confidence because I saw him last year with less time in the offense go undefeated and win back-to-back games around a run-heavy game plan tailored to his skill set. Yeah. I saw him in person sub in for Jordan Love against the Giants and lead a touchdown drive. And then against Chicago, it isn't just the in-rhythm offensive stuff. It's the ability to buy time in a pocket and make plays with his legs that was really on full display. He brought a different dimension to the offense than Jordan Love. Yeah. Jordan Love is going to win from the pocket. There were plays that Malik Willis made that you went and said, Jordan Love ain't making that play. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love might have gotten the first down in a different way, like throwing a back shoulder to a receiver or a dig route. But the way that Malik Willis extended the drive, the way that they were able to generate first downs with the read option play, there are certain things that Malik Willis can do that it makes it tougher to cover when you are a defense. That athleticism that he has is real.
He's fast.
And he used it against Chicago. He had over 40 rushing yards. So Malik Willis, I think, once he gets his opportunity, is going to be a good quarterback.
He was awesome. Jet?
Well,
don't
desperation.
You want Malik Willis in a good situation.
Yeah.
Whoa,
like the Packers.
We have a good offensive line.
A lot
I think
of
the
other things
perfect
are questionable.
situation for Malik Willis would be Indianapolis Colts. I think the Colts should do a buy low on him. They don't have a first round pick. Their quarterback that they had starting for most of the year has a serious injury. Malik Willis to the Colts, I think that is the perfect situation for him.
Make him fight
Jonathan
with Anthony
Taylor
Richardson for the job.
and him.
Be quite honest with you.
I think Malik Willis is the polished version of Anthony Richardson that the Colts want.
He's been
to
super,
see.
he's
Yeah.
been super accurate in this limited sample
Yes.
size that we've seen, which is Anthony Richardson's biggest mistake. To be honest with you, I would like him a lot in Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith. That being
like
said,
that.
I think Pittsburgh this year is probably going to look to kick the can and try to see a couple different backups. Maybe it's a Mac Jones, maybe it's a Spencer Rattler, kind of testing who's available.
You're
but
not going to go with the 40-year-old?
the 43-year-old next year?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Maybe I'll have to come back
What
to the
what
wild
old
card.
quarterback, Joe Flacco, what old quarterback's going to be available? We know that's your type.
I don't know. Maybe in like 10 years when Kyler doesn't have the athleticism anymore. we'll have to-
I'm dead.
Well, Pittsburgh, he was mocked there in the first round back in when he got drafted.
Yeah, that draft drew me crazy because I just knew as a fan
The Kenny
we should
Pickett
not
draft?
we should not take a quarterback in this year's draft.
Yeah.
Like there's certain draft classes I love Fernando Mendoza in this draft. I need to watch more from that. I have a better feel. But like there's certain draft classes as a fan we should not take a quarterback this year. And that was 2022 and we did. And I was pretty beside
You
myself.
went back-to-back years of duds in the first.
You went many years with duds in the first.
Fact. Good
Kevin
point.
Colbert was awesome in Pittsburgh, but his last 4 or 5 years as GM.
Started to lose it.
2017, he cooked with gas, TJ Watt, Juju, James Conner. But like 2016, Artie Burns. 2018, Terrell Emmons over Lamar. And then took
To
the
be
next
fair, everyone
quarterback.
took someone over Lamar.
Yes, but then they trade up in the third round to take the next quarterback, Mason Rudolph. So like he half dipped his toes in the water, but he didn't want to upset Big Ben when it was clear, perhaps take a quarterback. 2021, Najee was a solid pick, but like not going to a line and then running back was the question. And then 2022 pick, it was like the icing on the cake. Yeah.
I like Trey Lance a lot.
I love Trey Lance. Wait, what's this? What are you trying to get at?
I just think that he can be similar to Malik Willis, where I know he hasn't had a sub in for Herbert yet.
He's never had an opportunity.
I think Trey Lance.
I will die on this hill.
I bet on Trey Lance to revive his career sometime in the future. Like I think he can do it. I think he has a coach now in Jim Harbaugh that not only is lit a fire under him, you could see in the pregame warm up, punching his shoulder pads. But
If Mojo was still around, Brian Lodge, Trey
yeah,
Lance
no, for real,
He broke.
exactly. If he bought him at the price that he was at,
Well,
yes,
when he
it
got
would've been
drafted,
dope.
I would have lost it all.
Yeah.
500 shares. Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh has changed the Chargers around to where last year a playoff team, this year they won more games. They're going to win the playoffs again, and they still have a chance to win the AFC West.
It's just crazy.
They control their destiny.
If they went out, right?
Yes, the Broncos, we know they're going to beat the shit out the Chiefs on Christmas. That's a given. But if the Chargers can find a way to beat the Texans, who just struggled with the Raiders this past weekend, then Week 18 is a must-win game for both teams.
That's going to be fun.
If the Chargers win, they will win the AFC
Where's that
West.
game at?
It's at Mile High.
Okay, that's big.
And one
That's
thing
big
we
for
know
Denver.
about the Chargers is that they're heating up. They've beat the Cowboys, the Chiefs, the Eagles. The offensive line is a question, but the offensive line was a question earlier in the season when Justin Herbert beat the Broncos. And we know that Denver really struggles against LA. They really struggle against the Chargers.
We're 0-3 in our last 3.
I mean, that is not an easy game. And I think the Chargers, they really haven't gotten enough credit for winning 7 of their last 8 games and being able to pull out football games and win in this fashion despite their offensive line being terribly bad. It's one of the worst units in football. So I've been impressed by what they've done.
I think the only reason why the Chargers aren't getting their respect is because of the players the teams that they've gone up against outside of the Eagles. The Eagles is obviously their most impressive win by far and away, but you look at the rest of their schedule, it's teams that when you are a caliber of the Los Angeles Chargers, you should win these games. Now, beating Dallas at home is impressive. But this is also a team, no Quentin Williams wasn't playing. This is a team that also got eliminated from playoff contention the night before, too. Not taking anything away from them because Justin Herbert went out there and balled out. Yeah. He was excellent, one of his best performances of the season. And to also still have that type of performance when you have 0 offensive line, 0 protection in front of you, Herbert's been playing some superhero football. So I give him his respect, his due diligence. What he's been able to accomplish this year has been great considering supporting cast. But that's why you look at the Chargers and their schedule and their wins. They're winning, and that's what it matters because ultimately you just have to play who's on your schedule, but it's the quality of teams that they're playing that haven't moved players. Similar to how you look at Jacksonville. Jacksonville didn't get the respect that they deserve until they beat us.
I feel like the Chargers are beating great teams. Though.
Yeah, I was
The
going to say
reason
they've
the Chiefs
been
missed
at
the
least.
playoffs, big reason why
they beat
lost both
Philly,
games.
KC
The
with
Chiefs are a
Mahomes.
great team.
Well, it was with Mahomes
And they
on
beat,
the road.
They beat Denver too.
A big
They
reason,
beat Denver. No,
Jacksonville's
on this,
beating
on this,
Tennessee and the Jets. You know what I mean?
on this streak that they're on. You said 7 of 8.
Yeah,
The one that it stands out the most is Philadelphia.
for sure. But they 3 games in a row, like Philly, KC, in KC with Mahomes,
They
and
beat
Dallas.
Pittsburgh
Those wins
too
are
on prime
impressive.
time.
because
That was, I mean, listen, they're not. They didn't
They've
go beat
beaten
Denver,
three,
the Rams, and the Seahawks.
They've
But
beaten
Them
three
beating,
stand
them,
playoff
beating
caliber
Good
teams.
call.
them beating KC didn't overly move me, though. They beat them again, but you're going from when they
the
were
reason
healthy.
the Chiefs are not a playoff team, one of the main reasons why is because the Chargers
Yes.
swept them.
When they were healthy, they were one of the most dangerous teams in the league.
KC and KC division game. That's a good win.
The
My
Chiefs
argument-
twice, the Eagles,
But that's
the
the most
Cowboys.
banged up version of the Chiefs, and the
Broncos,
Chiefs have been
for
playing
sure.
their worst
The
version of
Steelers.
football.
They beat 6 teams this year that were playoff teams last year.
But I'm not looking at it and being like, I don't know, the schedule. Like, that's what it was with Jacksonville because they were playing bottom 7 teams every week.
Again, I'm saying the reason they're not getting the respect they deserve is because these are teams that they should beat outside of the Eagles.
I know what you're
I
saying.
feel like the reason they're not getting respect is because, at least for me personally speaking, is that I have to temper my expectations
Because of
when I
their
talk
roster.
about them because of the offensive line.
I agree
The
with you.
offensive line has made me temper my expectations on a team that I've been very vocal about. If they had Alt and they had Slater, even Alt, I would feel very comfortable with their chances in making it out of the AFC. Because I think Justin Herbert, we saw it was on full display against Dallas. When he has a clean pocket, he's as good as any quarterback in the NFL.
100%.
You can argue with everybody talking about Stafford and Allen and Drake May. You can argue Justin Herbert has been the most valuable to
right
his
up there.
team. He's been the most valuable asset. You lose 2 major offensive linemen and you're still able to win 11 football games. He's on pace for over 4,000 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns, and he's top 11 in QBR. A lot of his numbers right now aren't top of the league because of the situation that he is in right now. But on a down basis, it is very hard to find a quarterback that is playing as well as him when you take into account the situation he has to overcome. And that's why I think Herbert, this is a chance for him this year to, even with all the things not on his side, to really rewrite the narrative around his career. Because if the Chargers can beat the Texans, an elite defense, and beat the Broncos, an elite defense in back-to-back weeks, and have a home playoff game, it is going to really do wonders for how people, the public, view Justin Herbert and potentially like a playoff run they could go on. Because I think if they get the 1 seed or the 2 seed, they'll get a more favorable matchup in the playoffs. So I
Ain't
think
gonna
the
happen, my brother.
Chargers, they have a legitimate chance, and Herbert has a chance to really rewrite the narrative that people have set out on him. But I think the talent is there, and I think that if Burrow was able to go on a playoff run where his offensive line was one of the worst that I've seen, I know he had Chase and Higgins. I think the Chargers, even with their offensive line woes, when you look at their running back room with Vidal and Hampton, you look at their receiving core with Lad McConkey and Gatson and Quinn Johnson and Keenan Allen. I think Trey Harris is getting involved more. I think that they have a realistic chance at staying afloat with their elite defense and their offense that is just doing enough to win football games, because their defense is a unit that I actually feel like is probably the most under talked about unit in the league.
Yeah, especially in a Dafe way. It's kind of opened up and made life a lot easier for Thule. And I would agree with both of you in a sense, because we are waiting for the Chargers' statement win, and they're going to have two great opportunities for that these next 2 weeks, the Texans and Broncos, the 2 best defenses arguably in football.
For sure.
My skepticism with the Chargers comes back to the fact that Justin Herbert's the most pressured quarterback in football. And with him having to play through injuries, play through all these hits this year, it's how sustainable is that? And we've seen that in past years with the Texans. They've been able to win playoff games back-to-back years. Their defense was the very best. Chargers defense is elite, top 10, but is it that level of good where you can kind of overcome that? That's going to be the question. I think in this AFC, the playoffs are going to come down to matchups this year. If the Chargers play a team like the Texans like they did last year, we can see that offense line really get exposed the way that it did. But if they get another team that maybe doesn't have the best pass rush, that's where you could definitely see the Chargers finally get that playoff win we're waiting so long for.
Yeah, we know we give Seattle a lot of love defensively. The Broncos, the Texans, all deservedly.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Chargers #1 EPA per play since week 8. Like, this is a defense, you said it, Joel, the most underrated unit in football. It's a defense that doesn't get talked about. Part of it, especially like since before week 11, the competition wasn't great. Like, they were playing some like bad teams. But these last 3 weeks, like, I'm looking at Philly and I'm looking at KC and Dallas this past week. Sure. Are they all Super Bowl favorites? No. But like, I'm thinking my mindset going into that week, they're probably all kind of coin flips. You know what I mean? Like, in Kansas City with Patrick Mahomes, like, that was a 3-point game that they won. Philly, they needed fucking 6 turnovers, but they ended up getting that game. And this week versus Dallas, who'd been a top 3, top 1 offense in football all season long, like, these are all teams that have something going for them. Like, they held Dallas to 17 points. There's very few teams that could say that this year, that they've been able to limit the Dallas Cowboys offense, even, the week after they get eliminated. I get all of that. But I think what Joel said is right. It just comes down to the offensive line. If they had Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater, we'd be talking about this team winning the Super Bowl potentially, because you have a superhuman at quarterback, one of the best head coaches in football, and a defense is playing as good as anybody for the second half of the season. But the fact that you do have these issues at the offensive line, actually, Justin Herbert didn't take a sack this past week, which I don't know if it's the first time all season. It wouldn't surprise me if it's the first time all season. I think that partially goes to show you Dallas's defense, especially without Quentin Williams, but just shows you how great Justin Herbert is, even behind this makeshift offensive line. It's just a matter of, can you be competent on the line, right? Can you just be... Like, if there was 32 teams, can you be the 20th best offensive line? Justin Herbert could make shit happen with that. But talent-wise, and all the injuries they've been through, it's one of the worst in football. And we have seen them, like the Philly game, pressured on like 60-something% of his dropbacks. You have these games where if you're going up against a talented defense or talented defensive coordinator, it's easy to expose them. Because if you're getting pressure on anybody, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is, you're going to throw this offense off. So they deserve a lot of credit, and I think this win streak, or winning 7 of their last 8, I think this is real, because I think they're a good team. Obviously, great skill positions in quarterback. And the underrated defense, that's what's been doing it. Herbert gets all the headlines. Jim Harbaugh on the sideline hitting him on his chest. That gets all of the ESPN, first things first, all of that type of stuff. But a big reason is this defense, and it's been playing at an elite level. And when we're talking about the top defenses in football, we talked about all these teams, but the Chargers have to be at the top of this list. And I think, John, you're right when it comes to matchups. But realistically, I mean, who's the team that they can't beat? Like, I get Houston, definitely, tough defensive line. They beat them last year in the playoffs. They're going to play in this upcoming week.
That's the one I'm worried about.
That's a really tough matchup. But I'm also like, the Chargers defense should be able to shut down the Houston's offense too. Like, Houston's offense should be able to struggle. They're well positioned now, or better positioned now than they were last year in the playoffs. And that was kind of a game too, So, I mean, the Chargers, just like 6 other teams in the AFC, have as good a chance as really anybody to come out.
Welcome back to the podcast. We took a quick break. I had to turn on the heater. It was getting really chilly in here.
Cold as hell in here.
And I went upstairs. I had to take a big leak. A nice break in the podcast. I like when there's breaks in the podcast, because it allows us to just do our manly things and go about our business.
What do you mean by that?
Just go to bathroom.
If I could add some color to that, I had the worst headache the first hour and a half. Now it's gone. So
okay, that's
after
good.
The break.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. We should do breaks more often.
Yeah.
I had to wank one in the bathroom real quick.
You spanked one?
Nah, I could have though. I had enough time.
You're efficient like that?
Yes, I am hyper efficient. I could time it. I understand.
Oh man.
If you're in a pinch, need to get one out, no problem.
I mean, I used to have work early in the morning, and I knew I had to take a shower, how to get ready, how to do all that. So 5 minutes is the most I had.
You were a morning cranker?
I got it done. Absolutely.
How early?
7 in the morning.
Wow. Yeah. You're on timing.
You woke up and you're just like, gotta beat my meat, gotta beat my meat.
And when I come back from work too.
This is before or after you brush your teeth?
Before.
You're a real fucking demon.
Yeah, before.
Breath smelling crazy.
Yeah, before. Nah, for sure before. When you wake up and you need to get it done, you don't think about brushing your teeth. You just do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be transparent with
Human
you.
instinct.
This is some of, if not the most diabolical shit I've ever heard.
Listen, when it gotta get done, it's gotta get done.
Yeah. Sometimes, you gotta be in a rush and you gotta do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean
prime time.
That doesn't mean that your performance lessens.
I don't know,
Doesn't
man.
mean that.
At minimum, you gotta brush your teeth. Like
Not if
I'm
it's
not.
that
asking-
early.
Brush your teeth.
I'm not asking the most of you, man. Just brush your teeth first.
You don't have to shower. That's a lot. But like brush teeth 2 minutes. You know what I mean?
A morning shower is not necessary.
No, all the time.
I'm a nighttime guy.
Me too,
Sometimes it
typically.
can be.
I can't. Now, here's the thing: is the reason why I don't brush my teeth before is because I'm a type of person that I brush my teeth after I shower, right?
Okay.
So like, I'm not
I
going
guess I do
to.
that
I'm
too.
not going to shower and then get one off. That's disgusting. It's dirty. I get one off, and then the shower is my time to cleanse myself of my sins.
That
And
makes sense.
then I take a shower, then I get out and I brush my teeth and I get on about my day.
There's something beautiful in that.
You can't go in the shower because then you're dirty. You know what I'm saying? You wink one off and you know your hands are smelling. You know you can't.
I get it.
And you gotta wash off completely. So you have to do the dirty deeds before.
And you know what they say, bro? It ain't hydrophobic, bro. That shit, no, it ain't hydrophilic. It's hydrophobic.
What does
So even still-
hydrophobic mean?
So hydrophobic means that it's water repellent, resistant.
I see.
Hydrophilic means that it's water loving.
I love how uncomfortable John is. He's just waiting for us to move on.
Move on to football.
John was
talk.
telling me about his friend here. I don't know what his friend's name is, but he's gonna get addressed on the podcast now.
He cranks one off in the morning before
No,
brushing
no,
his teeth, too.
No.
We need
It has
move
nothing
off
to do
that
with
talk
that.
ball. My boy Evan said you gotta talk to Joel about this video of him switching his fandom. And if you want to speak about that, I suppose.
So not about
we
jerking
can.
off in the morning.
Yeah,
That was a great
that's strictly
conversation.
ball.
Both involved ball.
No, listen. It's because listen.
What a post.
I'm going to keep cranking out videos that that clarify exactly why I made my decision. Because some people think it's out of a whim. Some people think there's no meaning behind it. So I made this video on TikTok and it's doing well. And there's some people that just are disgusted with me, and it's fine. If I have to be the face, if I have to be the martyr of people thinking it's acceptable to stop acting like you owe something to a franchise that's owned by a billionaire that doesn't care about you and you're able to root for whoever and whatever you enjoy, then so be it. But it's a big sin in sports, and I think me switching fandoms, it's made me realize how in sports it's the only thing that we view as like a sacred sin, switching and doing something better. And I remember I was watching this Subway Talk series where this guy interviews people on the subway. And he was interviewing Omar Raha from ESPN. And he was like, sports is the only thing that if you switch your fandom from it, it's unacceptable. Like, it's the only thing where you have to be loyal to something no matter what. And that's what identifies you. And I understand that logic. I think that thinking has been ingrained in sports fans' heads. But I don't care. I don't care.
I
and
respect it.
then John, his friend
My boy
told
Evan.
John to tell me about the video.
He saw Joel's video. He's like, this ain't right. And I think there's layers to it. On one flip of the coin, and I'm not condoning this. I thought you made a very stoic, a very smart point. I don't want my kids to be born and subjected to this level of depression, sports, whatever you want to say. That level of misery as a sports fan. And Dels, I give you a lot of credit because you're in like the weeds, you're in the ground zero. And I'm with you. Like as a basketball fan my entire life, I've kind of embraced like rooting for teams that are kind of a little bit crappy. I also think on the other side,
Goddamn character.
yeah. I also think on the other side, for me, it's different because I feel like if the Steelers are a miserable team, like right now, like I'm pessimistic about them all the time. Still gonna be a Steeler fan, but I think there's also a ownership, a poor ownership layer, or maybe horrible ownership becomes a lot more understandable for a fan to divert his fandom to a different team.
So what if Woody Johnson sold the team?
I would think about making a return.
Okay.
We should establish this.
I'm gonna tell you, Joel. I don't really care that you switch teams. What always bothers me is you switch teams, but then you keep shitting on them. That's where it bothers me.
Yeah, and I feel like that's where I went wrong. You know, I think that's something where I got to clarify because in my last video, I did a good job at making it known that for all the fans, I really have a lot of respect for you for thugging it out, and I hope they do well. Like, I hope that they hit on all these draft picks they have coming up. I hope that they find a quarterback. I will be more than happy for them if they do that.
See, my thing is, why don't you just allow your kids to root for whatever team they want?
That's probably what it's going to be.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
they're
But
probably
why
gonna-
wouldn't they root for the Packers?
You want to know what
Go Paco.
if I'm looking at this in a very critical lens, you should have became a Seahawks fan. You should have followed Sam Darnold. This was the quarterback that just signed with the Seahawks.
ugh.
Seahawks have been
Coming
dope
to this
root
year,
for.
the Seahawks didn't have very high expectations the way the Packers did. So people, they're not going to be able to say you're a bandwagon because coming to the year, no one had the Seahawks being an 11-12 win team with the potential to win the NFC West.
Just following Sam Darnold, like
It is a
But
little funny.
as a Jet fan, you're following suit with your guy because a part of Joel's case he laid out today in his video was that the Jets ruin great talents. Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the greatest players ever. Aaron Rodgers goes there. He's winning 5 games. And then you look at Sam Darnold, a lot of talent, and the Jets wasted it. So then he's joining that talent and taking his talent somewhere else and a lot more I would say reasonable.
the thing that it always boggles my mind is why he just decided to go full tilt. It just could have been so simple as Packers are my team this year. Still a Jets fan, but I have my Packers agenda. We do it religiously
every single year.
Every year, one of us has a squad. Like, I am a Broncos fan. The Broncos just so happen to also be incredible this year. It's been easy for me to just be a Broncos fan and not talk highly about any other team outside of maybe the Rams, who I have also said I like the Rams. I've done it with the Dolphins. I've done it with other teams. This is what it's a known thing. Excuse me. You should have just did that. Nobody would have cared. Nobody. I still have the occasional comments. So is bro a Dolphin fan or a Broncos fan? They know. If you watch the show, you know. I got the Niners. I just keep them thinking. Like, they don't know what I'm thinking.
I felt like it was a unselfish decision by Joel because when I heard his takeaway, it wasn't because of him. He didn't want his family to be subject to that level.
Like, John, I get where you're coming from. Like, as his friend,
biting,
yeah,
man.
you really
You're
are.
biting.
You're getting
just call
baited.
devil's advocate. To me.
I think that I could have done it that way for sure, and it really wouldn't have mattered.
No one would have cared.
It made it so much easier being like a full-fledged fan. The fact that we do a show, because over the years you grow a real emotional attachment and love to certain teams, and there are times where the love deviates and you can't do it no more. Daniel Jones getting benched with the Giants. You had to tone down your Giants love. Tua not being that good, it kind of like the Dolphins love had to kind of stop and stuff. So I just feel like with the
He got me to the playoffs, other than yards. We're good.
with
Mission
the
accomplished.
Packers,
Daniel Jones playoff win. Mission accomplished.
Jesus Christ.
with the Packers,
Got paid. He got paid.
You got paid.
He
No,
got
for
paid.
sure.
Mission accomplished.
Yes, you're right.
with the Packers, it just felt like since Jordan Love started, that was the team that I became the most emotionally invested in, especially after Rodgers ruptured his Achilles in the first drive. It completely zapped
It was
everything.
the one you were most right about.
Yeah, and I love Jordan Love, and honestly, I like their traditions. I like a lot of things they stand for.
Like
what
being
does break
fan-owned.
my heart?
Can't forget that.
Fan owned.
What does break my heart is that 3 years ago when Aaron Rodgers won the Pat McAfee show and he said, I'd like to take my talents to New York.
We were
I was
sitting
sitting
here.
in this room.
Yeah.
And the video that I regret never taking is the reaction of Joel and Joel reacting in unison because it looked like the Jets won the Super Bowl the way they were reacting.
That's when the Jets always win the Super Bowl in
Well, yeah,
March.
I have a lot of great videos as a Jets fan in my former era, like the JSN draft.
That's an all-time video.
You know what's
It's an
so
all-time
what's so
video.
crazy about the JSN draft is how right I was about all the
All the
players,
players, yeah.
that they selected that
Well,
they didn't
we were-
select.
Yeah.
Seattle.
Well, we don't got.
Will McDonald was solid, but it was like I was like Gonzalez, JSN, Zay
JSN
Flowers.
was so easy.
It
I mean, the
was.
whole world. I shouldn't even say that, but
I love
JSN
Jason
was
Quentin
right
Johnston.
there, dude.
Christian Gonzalez, JSN were pretty easy.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I wasn't expecting to take Christian Gonzalez because obviously he just took Sauce the last year in the top 5, but
That
like,
duo.
dude, Jason's
That
right
would've
there.
been-
Like he's right there.
I just think that it's hard for people to switch fandoms because they just are too emotionally tied down to certain.
I'm not
things.
mad at any fan that wants to switch teams if you're on a pitiful organization. Like, no disrespect to obviously the Jets, the Charlotte Hornets, like the
Browns.
Wizards, the Browns.
I feel
Like,
for Brown fans.
if you're just a part of, especially if you're not like a diehard, I'm like, dude,
Like, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I think the sport that has it worse. I think football. There's a good parity in it where like a team every year can come up and rise to the top. I think the sport that has it worse is baseball.
yes,
Like, the Orioles are probably always going to suck. The LA Angels are probably always going to suck.
a lot of it just because baseball is so different because there's no salary cap, so it just all depends on ownership. If you have a rich owner, you can get whoever the hell you want. There is some outliers, like the Rays do a good job. They're very poor,
Amazing.
but they're well
Genuinely.
run. They scout well, develop well, and then when a guy's ready to get paid, they trade well. So there are some outliers, but I mean, like, look at the Dodgers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, just
Like,
the Dodgers have the richest owners, so
Bro,
they pay
I
everybody.
can't imagine being an Angels fan and it's like Mike Trout career was wasted
Ohtani
there.
and
too.
Ohtani together.
Well, they had Ohtani and Trout. It's just they had no pitching.
Yeah.
They had zero pitching. They still have zero pitching.
Yeah.
In baseball, I agree with you, but there are some organizations that are genuinely great. You mentioned the Rays that are going to do it. The Orioles a couple of seasons ago were really great.
They just signed Pete. They gave Pete a good deal.
They were
150.
really great. They were just super underwhelming this year because guess what? No pitching. What it comes down to is you're only as good as your starting pitching. Look at the Dodgers. That rotation is ridiculous. 1 through 6, not just 5, because that's just not good enough nowadays. Huge. That's just not good enough to go out there and win because most often not. You're not going to have 5 starters really because it's such a long season. Inevitably, some of these players are going to get hurt.
Yeah, nah, it's like with baseball. Yeah, you make a good point about that. I'm not too tapped in with it, but yeah, it just feels like there are some teams that, for them to actually build like a competent team and be like competitive every year in baseball, it's like 10 times harder. Yeah. And it's like I can't imagine being a fan of a team that it's like, bro, there's legitimately like a 1% chance this team's ever gonna be like really freaking good.
Yeah.
And I just feel like at that point you're like rooting for nothing. Like the Jets, at least they're in football, like I mentioned, the draft system and cap
Football's
space
like
allows
quarterback.
any team to be good. Yeah, the Jets is just a quarterback away.
Well,
which it's
they
been
need a
that
lot
way.
more. But it's if you get a quarterback, like a lot of problems start to fix themselves really quick.
But I'm happy for them. I mean, I'll happily whip out a Jets jersey and watch the game.
Okay.
The Yankees are kind of like everybody's like, oh, you're a Yankee fan, bandwagon. I'm just like, I guess like I've been waiting on mine. It's been since 2009, which in theory is not that long ago, but
For the Yankees, it is.
for the Yankees, that's mad long.
Yeah, they're expected to win every year.
Yeah.
And Lord knows we haven't been close to winning every year in a while. We should have won last year.
I was gonna say, you were in
2 years ago, not this year. We
It's like
should've
the
won 2 years
Lakers
ago.
of baseball. They got to win every year.
Yep.
It's like the Patriots when they were having their dynasty. They got to win every year.
A lot of pressure.
That's kind of what it is with those
Well, it's like
historic
the Steelers
franchises.
too, but like the Yankees are at least like close. They give you hope, like real hope that they're on the cusp. Went to the World Series a year ago. So
Yeah, but this pod, we're going to continue it talking about 3 elite quarterbacks on 3 disappointing teams. But we're going to try to find the balance and give our take on which one has been the most disappointing between the Baltimore Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Cincinnati Bengals. 3 teams with top-of-the-line quarterback play, all missing the playoffs this year in very disappointing fashion.
in all likelihood, the Ravens haven't officially been eliminated, but you know
They're pretty much
they're
going to be
pretty
done.
much done.
They're cooked.
Without a shadow of a doubt, the most disappointing is Lamar Jackson.
Whoa.
Without a shadow
So
of a
not
doubt.
even a team. You're just going for quarterback.
This feels personal.
Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens are the most disappointing. You had to figure at some point in time Chiefs were going to fall at one point, right? Like, it's disappointing they fell short. I think all three are disappointing in their own right. I don't think the Bengals deserve a seat at this table personally, because we look at expectations, we look at that defense. We didn't anticipate the world. What was disappointing is that Burrow wasn't healthy. That was disappointing. But what's disappointing about the Ravens and Lamar Jackson is that we constantly talk about how open the AFC is, how winnable the AFC is. And a big reason of that is because Mahomes isn't in it, but because Lamar Jackson has been underwhelming and that team has been underwhelming. The offensive line's banged up. It has not been nearly as good as last year. Last year, one of the best units in the league. Derrick Henry was dominant, 1,900 yards. Derrick Henry's still good this year. He's not 1,900 yards good, but he's still really good this year. Derrick's holding his end of the bargain. Lamar Jackson, when you watch him, he's not the same player. Athletically, he's not the same player. He's not moving as quick as we've seen him in years past. So very obviously, he's still playing banged up, and I'll be fair to him in that right. But what we've been watching from the Baltimore Ravens has been nothing but disappointing. Lamar's not holding his end of the bargain. Mahomes, when he was playing, was doing legitimately everything he could to keep in simple terms, a bad team afloat. He did his job. He fell trying. Lamar Jackson was on the field. He's been underwhelming for the last however many weeks in a row. Joe Burrow went out there, not last week, because last week was one of the worst we've ever seen Joe Burrow. But then this week he goes out there and he lights up Miami for no reason other than he wants to play football. I'm not going to go as far as some of these other guys are saying that Lamar gave up on his team. That's a bit much. Lamar's a gamer. If Lamar could have been able to go and finish that game, I'd like to believe that Lamar Jackson would have gone out there and done so. But season on the line, you need Lamar Jackson. He's not there for you. That's disappointing. The team as a whole has been disappointing. To go out there and blow another lead again on prime time, a win that you desperately needed against an amazing opponent. All things considered, understanding who the New England Patriots have turned out to be. You had control of this game and you gave it away. And that was with the backup quarterback because you simply stopped going to your running back. Derrick Henry looked like he was ready to take the keys and go the entire game, and you took it away from him. You took him off the field, and that was your opportunity to win the game. The Ravens have been the most disappointing because they've had opportunities to seize their moment, to still be a playoff team, and they've simply given it away. That's what's most disappointing for me in the Baltimore Ravens.
Not only that, but they're in the most winnable division in the AFC. The Chiefs in the AFC North, I think, even with how pretty terrible they were, I think they would have finished number one in that division. With the AFC West, the Chargers are an 11-win team. The Broncos are a 12-win team. That division was tough as nails. It was really hard. The Ravens had it served on a silver platter for them to win the division, and then they folded. And Lamar's injury contributed to that. But before Lamar went out, they were 1-3, and they just got blown out by the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost to the Detroit Lions, who now we view as the Detroit Lions were pretty much a mediocre team. You know, the Chiefs are proven. They already proved what they needed to prove, and the Ravens haven't. And this is a wasted season for them.
Absolutely. This is the biggest choke job in the Lamar era. And it's not an indictment on Lamar. I think it's also an indictment on the coaching staff. And you look at this defense, which 2 years ago was historically good in 2023, and the fall that it's had, while there have been some injuries, it's so clear to me a coaching thing when you see the regression over the last year and a half. And you look at the Bills game in week 1. You look at this game versus the Patriots on primetime. They've had the division handed to them on a silver platter because the Steelers, up until these last few weeks, were giving this division away to them. And a year where, like Drew said, there's not been this clear top dog in the AFC. The Broncos have been great. They won 11 straight games, but no one coming to the season had the Broncos as a contender. Very few people did. This was the ultimate gateway for the Ravens. You don't have to play Kansas City. Buffalo looks vulnerable because anybody can run the football on them. They don't have a true number one receiver. So for the Ravens to not make the Super Bowl this season, but to miss the playoffs altogether, I think that's why it's a massive missed opportunity, because we just watched Lamar Jackson a year ago have one of the best years of his career. And this year he hasn't been himself, playing through injury. He's missed a lot of time, but the rest of this roster and the coaching staff, I think also need to be held accountable too, because this has been, I had the Ravens this year, I had high expectations and they've fallen well short. As a Steeler fan, I guess I'm happy, but objectively, you look at this team and you say it is one of the biggest missed opportunities of any team.
Yeah, I think what Drew said is right in terms of the Bengals don't deserve a seat here. Burrow gets hurt. The defense was terrible. They had the lowest expectations out of the three, so they're pretty clearly third to me. I think the Chiefs and the Ravens is at minimum a conversation. Like, I'm looking at this question just in a vacuum. It's not the Chiefs have proven what they needed to prove already. It's not they were going to fall off at some point. Tom Brady never missed the playoffs when he was healthy. And that's how I view Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You're a dynasty. You're the best quarterback in the world. Joel thinks the best quarterback of all time. I don't hate that argument. Talent-wise, probably the best quarterback ever. Your expectation is at minimum to make the playoffs unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt. And unfortunately, he did get hurt in week, 14, 15. At that point in the season was most likely done. Maybe they drive down the field, kick a field goal, go in overtime, win, and go on this crazy run. But for me, it's Kansas City because Mahomes was healthy. You know, like, you could look at the team and you could say Mahomes was carrying this offense. Sure. The first 5 weeks of the season, the Ravens defense never let up less than 37 points. Even if Lamar Jackson was healthy, they probably could have gone 1-4, 1-5 too. When he came back, they rattled off 3 or 4 straight wins. And then the Thanksgiving game against the Cincinnati Bengals, the defense lets up 34. It was not a great offensive game for the Ravens, but really killed them was the Steelers game the week after. A game that we went into, I think we all picked the Ravens, expecting them to win, expecting Lamar Jackson to play better. But the reason why I would have the Chiefs over them is because Lamar's obviously hurt. Like, if you would have told me going into this season, Patrick Mahomes is going to stay healthy for 15 weeks at a minimum, are they going to make the playoffs? I would have said yes, probably. If you would have told me Lamar gets hurt in week 4, he comes back in week 9 and is never himself and looks maybe 50% of himself, I'm like, that team's probably going to miss the playoffs. And that's how that's how I look at the season. It's like, the Ravens have been, the first half and second half have been so drastically different, at least defensively, that you could look at the second half of this year outside of a couple of games and be like, the defense has done its part. You know, it's at least came back, because at the beginning of the year, it was so god awful that really no quarterback would have been able to go in there and win games. It's a lot like Joe Burrow was dealing with last season. Even still, they were only able to win 8 games. But Lamar's just not himself. He's not healthy. The hamstring is obviously messing with him. They put up the stat yesterday that before the injury, which was surprising that his highest or his average miles per hour was only 15. Like 15 for an NFL player is pretty slow. Drake May hit 20 on the run Trayvon Henderson had when he was blocking for him. So 15 miles per hour for really any player, but specifically Lamar Jackson is low, which makes me think, was there something coming into the season that wasn't right? But the fact that it's under 12 miles per hour, like, I'm not an athletic guy. I've ran 12 miles per hour on the treadmill before. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that 90% of humans can do if you're in just somewhat decent shape. So the fact that Lamar is not even exceeding that, it just goes to show the injury is obviously playing a part. But John's not wrong either. You know, like, it's more than Lamar Jackson. It's on everybody. It's the front office. It's the coaching staff. It's the roster as a whole. Man, this Ravens team needs a reset. And we talked about it a bit earlier, you know, letting Mike McDonald walk out your door was a huge mistake. That's a mistake that could set this team back multiple years. I've been very high on Todd Monken in the past. You could look at a lot of the stuff Todd Monken has done, even though he's progressed Lamar Jackson's game, especially as a passer. But I think of the Chiefs game a couple years ago when the Chiefs were one of the worst rushing defenses in the NFL, and they would just pass.
Yeah.
I look at last night, Derrick Henry not getting the ball. Throughout the season, Derrick Henry not getting the ball in the second half of games, and they're either being too pass heavy or they're going to Keaton Mitchells or Justice Hills or these second tier running backs when it's like, you got Derrick Henry. So I haven't loved what I've seen from Todd Monken. I know he's been floated around like you just promote him. I don't think that's the move either.
Yeah.
So it's obviously all three of these teams, but specifically the Chiefs and the Ravens are super disappointing because they were 2 out of the top 4 or 5 teams in terms of Super Bowl odds entering the year. I just give the Ravens a little bit more grace because their superstar quarterback is hurt, and he's been healthy for like 3 games this year.
You're right. I think all of us make valid points. The frustrating part, and I think the difference between Kansas City and Baltimore is that with Lamar Jackson having this peak, the Ravens still have nothing to show yet.
No.
Whereas
but
with
that's
Kansas
not what I'm
City,
arguing.
I agree with you. I think with Kansas City, I give them a little more grace for the sense that I feel like we all grandfather them into this stage where they're an automatic shoo-in to make the playoffs. But we kind of forget like just how rare it was. There's only been one team in NFL history to make 4 straight Super Bowls. That was Buffalo in the early 90s. And they
missed the playoffs, not just a Super Bowl.
And yes, but even then with Tom Brady, when they won the Super Bowl in 2001, next year they go 9-7, they don't make the playoffs. And that Super Bowl hangover and that over the course of NFL history, that's been a reoccurring theme for Super Bowl champions the next year to take that big step back. And the Chiefs are one of the more recent teams to put that away and show, no, we're going to continue to make it. We're going to win back-to-back Super Bowls. So I feel like for us, when we analyze the Chiefs, this was a much-needed year where they can take a step back, they can evaluate what they need to address in the draft, and they're going to recognize all of these holes where last year they were able to overcome them because of that fourth quarter magic. But those heroics weren't there this year. So I feel like with Kansas City in this discussion, I give them that grace because of the historical precedent of that Super Bowl hangover. And I think that's why you look at like Josh Allen, Lamar, and you say you have 2 all-time quarterbacks. A lot like Peyton earlier in his career, they still haven't gotten over that hump. And as they get closer and closer to 30, you start to ask yourself, if it's not this year, when is that going to be?
The grace you're giving the Chiefs is a little bit too much because I'm kind of being lenient towards Mahomes. I'm being lenient towards doing as much as you can with a situation. I'm not being lenient with the front office. The front office had an opportunity at the trade deadline to get better. They decided not to. Mm-hmm. The front office decided we didn't need to give Patrick Mahomes in his prime a legit running back option. They didn't feel like it was essential to go out there and bolster up the secondary. Let's let L'Jarius Sneed walk. Let's let Charvarius Ward walk. And because we're the Chiefs and Mahomes has done such a great job of letting us be good enough to overcome, and Andy Reid's one of the best head coaches that this game's ever seen, this offense is going to constantly bail out this defense. Let's just give them grace because Mahomes has just been so overwhelmingly great. The front office failed Mahomes. The defense was horrendous this season. The rush defense has been great for a majority of Mahomes' tenure. That's constant. But they failed to put a legit NFL defense around Mahomes. They failed to give him a running back. For last season, they failed to give him great left tackle and right tackle play. Mahomes has had to be a superhero more often than not. Yeah. And he has. And even this season he tried. He fell short. Let's just put that on record. Mahomes fell short in that regard too. But he went out on his sword. I don't think I'm looking at the Ravens and think that they've put their best foot forward. I think they've shot themselves in the foot time and time again.
Yeah.
I think the way I want to rephrase this, I think Lamar has kind of been the most disappointing quarterback here. I think the Chiefs have been the most disappointing team.
Has it been disappointing or just hurt? Or is it just one goes with the other?
One does go with the other. I thought he was playing well when he started the season. Since he's come back from injury, he's been disappointing. I thought Mahomes played really well this year. And the numbers, basic stats won't be the kindest to him. I know people are going to cite passer rating, but the QBR, the EPA per play, the backpacking of the offense when at the time he was hurt, no quarterback accounted for more of their team's offensive yards than him on a percentage basis. That was Mahomes. I look at what the Chiefs did. They paid Karlaftis $23 million per year. Nick Bonito gets paid $26 million. Karlaftis is average. Bonito's an all-pro. They paid Karlaftis like a star edge rusher. They paid Nick Bolton, who's a really good run defender but can't cover, and Leo Chanel, their best linebacker, might walk because of that. They haven't addressed the running back position since Mahomes has been the quarterback. They have failed to use valuable assets on it. Isaiah Pacheco was a 7th round pick, and he ended up being positive for them at the very least. He led the league in drops last year. I should say in 2023, the Chiefs led the NFL in drops. Last year, they were towards the top of the league as well. Their left tackle allowed the most percentage of pressures in the NFL at that position. This season, no run game, questionable offensive line play with guys in and out. The receiving room should have been better, but ultimately, I think that you look back now, you're like, okay, you're relying on a guy off a 6-game suspension to fix your season and not address that. And then the defense has pretty much fallen off. I know they look really good in terms of the points allowed, but on a drive-to-drive basis, the amount of yards that they allow, the third down conversion rate, they're all awful. We saw Mahomes' impact on full display when him, along with other key Chiefs players, I'll be fair, played the Titans, and they got blown out by the worst team in football. A team in football that's going to have a top 3 pick blew out the Chiefs when Mahomes didn't play.
Well, there's a lot of players out.
I don't think any of those players
They're
makes
not
a
Mahomes.
difference.
No,
It is
when
also
Mahomes,
the
you're
Titans.
they'll
In
probably
terms of
lose
the final
regardless,
outcome.
But yes,
I mean, getting blown out by the Titans is nuts.
Like, I think even if you got Rasheed Rice, I don't think he changed that game. I don't think Trent McDuffie changed that game to where they're winning that game.
It was a backup to the backup.
yeah,
Chris
that's facts.
Linecoon.
That's
And
something I've
Gardner
never heard
Minshew,
of
when he
before.
played, he didn't look that good either.
That quarterback.
So I just feel like everything failed around Mahomes to the point that all the things that we've been talking about for years when it pertains to the Chiefs, that these are problems, because they were winning, nobody cared. But now that they have had a losing season because of all these things that have piled up, it is making you reevaluate the roster and saying, okay, now it's time to get serious, because I think the most disappointing thing ever is missing the playoffs in the prime of one of the best players in the history of football's career. And that's what the Chiefs just did. They missed the playoffs in the twilight of Mahomes' career. And Matt Nagy has been consistently the culprit of terrible offensive play, or I should say regression in the offense. And they have made no changes in back-to-back off seasons. And I think it's also an Andy Reid thing, because Andy Reid picks out his coaching staff. And Matt Nagy, he flopped in Chicago for a reason. And the fact that since Eric Bieniemy left, the offense has been completely terrible with Matt Nagy, I don't think that's a coincidence. And I think that they need an entire new voice and refreshment from other coaching staff players, other coaching staff in the building. Like, I think Andy Reid needs to go out and hire somebody else in a different voice to add a different dimension to the offense. Because, I mean, there's nothing more disappointing than missing the playoffs and then also your star player tearing his ACL.
And if we're being real, Andy Reid has lost his play calling fastball over the last couple of years. Specifically this year, I felt like we watched that most, and that was kind of compounded by their weapons and their receivers. When I look at the Chiefs, the concerning thing, which I don't think is nearly discussed enough, is that there's some players in this defense who have been really good that you have to pay soon. Jalen Watson at corner had a big year, and then Trent McDuffie as well is on that 5th-year option, the first-round pick. But then that's your 2 starting corners, both going to be set to get contract extensions over the next 2 years, and that further limits a team that's paying a decent amount of money already. And I thought in the last couple of years, they addressed the offensive line, you draft Josh Simmons, hell of a pick. I thoroughly agreed with you. They really should have traded for Breece Hall at the deadline. I thought that would have been a very big impact. So like a running back, You're like a tight end. If Kelsey comes back next year, I mean, there are a lot of moments this year where the drops really impact the Chiefs and cost them in some games, and the receiver too. So there's a lot of different holes, and you have to make some tough decisions here at corner.
On to brighter things. Seems like the Panthers might make the playoffs.
It's awesome.
And the Buccaneers, I mean, they have lost 3 games in a row. Baker Mayfield's not playing good football. Now, what if I told you guys that Bryce Young, over his last 24 games, which is when he got benched in the first place, 217 total yards per game, 42 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, a 91.3 passer rating, and 10 game winning drives.
It's clutch.
And now the Panthers are 8-7 with a chance to win this division for the first time since Cam Newton was MVP. How do you feel about what the Carolina Panthers have done and Bryce Young?
I love it. You guys know I love Bryce Young. I've never wanted to give up hope on him, and it's because he hasn't. In fourth quarter, half his situations, more often than not, Bryce Young is answering the call. Now, on a down-and-down basis, man, I look the prettiest. I'm not going to say that's wrong. I think that situationally, the Panthers have gotten better each year that he's been there, and you've seen his progression, but you also have seen the team's progression as well. Tedoroa obviously was a gigantic signing for them. The run game has not been as nearly efficient as it was early on in the season, but the passing offense has picked up from picking up the slack from where the run game has not been as effective. Defense has been playing really great as well. The secondary has been awesome. Rush defense is definitely the lacking of the two, but that pass defense, J.C. Horn has solidified himself as one of the league's best corners. When he's on that field, we acknowledge who he is. Opposite side of him, Jackson has been really great this season. This has been a really fun team, but Bryce Young himself situationally has taken care of the ball, done a good job of not taking too many negative plays, continuing to move the ball downfield, and when you need him, he rises to the occasion. But we do see that when you get him a real alpha, what he's been able to accomplish. Xavier Legette is not good. That was one of the worst first-round draft picks last year. There's no justifying it.
Was he a first or at the top of the second?
He was the first pick in the second round. Yeah. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think unless that was the Bills that traded into the first, they traded with the Bills to get that pick.
I think the Bills got Keon Coleman, right?
They got Keon with the first pick in the second round, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So Legette was the first round pick?
Legette was the last pick in the first round, and Keon was the first pick
pick in the second round.
So it was pick 32.
Neither of them great.
Nevertheless.
Far from
not good.
And at least Legette is not a healthy scratch.
And then after the two of them, Lat McConkey went with the very next pick.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Nevertheless, Tedoroa has been such a great addition for them, and obviously we see it translate to what Bryce Young's been able to do. But Carolina's been an interesting story. Play good against good teams, play bad against bad teams. But again, situationally, there's not much you can say negative about him or the Carolina Panthers. I do think they win this division. I chose Carolina to win this game. One of the few picks that I made correct this week that we're going to swing divisions. But you got to give credit where it's due. There's a kid who got wrote off who people said was terrible, worst starter in the league. And at the time, there may have been some validity to that, but it's how you respond and how you come back to when you're questioned. And since being benched, he's come back and he's been a legit quarterback.
Now, I feel like there's going to be a lot of time to give Panthers praise when they officially win the division. Because the Buccaneers are still in it. If they win Week 18, they're going to win the division.
Yep.
So right now, it's not signed and sealed yet, although they have the upper hand. I'm going to name you guys quarterbacks, and you guys are going to tell me if you would take Bryce Young over them.
Okay.
We're throwing it back. This is a Would You Rather Bryce Young edition. Let's start hot. I'm throwing you the fastball. C.J. Stroud.
C.J. Stroud.
I'm taking CJ Stroud.
I'm still going Bryce Young.
Okay.
What's Bryce Young do better?
Move on getting outside the pocket. His pocket presence itself is better.
He's
ability to
more
extend
mobile.
plays is better.
I think CJ's arm is stronger for sure.
I think so too.
You can argue Bryce Young is more accurate.
He is. His ball placement is spectacular.
Yeah, I think CJ's pretty accurate too, but Bryce is accurate.
I'm still going to go C.J. Stroud, but I think of the grace that is being given to CJ Stroud now wasn't being given to Bryce Young as a rookie when CJ had an incredible season. But I'm still going to go CJ Stroud. Next name up, now we're just going to rattle off some number 1 overall picks.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield.
Bryce Young.
Mayfield. This year, there's more of a conversation.
Baker's been horrendous.
When if you're looking solely at this year, you can say Bryce Young. I'm looking last 2-3 years, and I'm taking Baker.
I would still say
if you go last 2-3 years, then of course I would say the same thing. That being said,
You think moving forward, Bryce Young's better than Baker Mayfield?
I do think that.
It's not crazy. Baker's just been so bad this year, and I want to give him some grace because of the shoulder injury that he had against the Rams. Because before that, he had been playing, he'd been playing well. The first month of the season, he was in MVP talks, and I feel like it definitely slowed down since that Rams game and the injury. It's been really bad. But what Baker has shown me over the last couple of years is a way higher ceiling than what Bryce has.
You have to look at what Baker's had to deal with the amount of injuries throughout that offense throughout the last 2 years.
But now they're healthy, and I feel like
they are healthy
the worst
now.
game they've played.
Yes, that's true.
I'm going with Baker
All
Mayfield.
they've done is surround him with talent.
Oh, yeah, and he's got a ton of talent.
I'm going with Baker Mayfield. Next name up, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
The highs by Trevor are so high. I'm taking Trevor here, but I feel like 4 or 5 weeks ago, when you're looking at these two quarterbacks, they're neck and neck.
The way Trevor's playing, it's just impossible to take
He's been insane.
a couple quarterbacks over him. I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Next first overall pick, Kyler Murray.
I'll go K1.
I'll still take Kyler Murray. So you're taking Kyler over Stroud?
I would.
So you're still banking on the upside with Kyler?
Yeah,
maybe I'm delusional because I've seen what Kyler can do. When he's at his best, he's amazing. I don't know. This year was definitely not a great example of that, but
I've defended Kyler for so long. I'm not going to completely jump ship, but I'm just about right there. With the amount of injuries that he's had, the inconsistencies in the passing game, to me, Kyler Murray is a quarterback you have to build your entire offense around. Everything needs to be perfect, and even if it is perfect, the question is, can he go on a playoff run? Can he be the engine? I feel like a couple of years ago, early in his career, the answer was yes. Now I'm skeptical. I'm going Bryce Young.
My thing with K1 is his highs are highs that neither of these quarterbacks have reached. Neither has in Bryce, neither has in Stroud.
we just had those highs in some years.
It's been years.
Yeah,
I agree.
Full 3 years.
I think I would. Kyler's more talented, right? Like I think that's obvious to me.
Mhm.
He's more talented, but when it comes to intangibles, I'd rather have Bryce. Leadership, rather have
I
Bryce.
agree.
Availability,
Agree.
I'd rather have Bryce.
Agree.
So I mean, Kyler's a more talented guy, but it's just you can't bank on him, unfortunately.
I feel like
This one's close though.
unless Kyler Murray goes to a picture perfect situation where it's almost impossible to fail, I have a tough time picturing a team that is going to get a gargantuan boost with him at quarterback. Like I feel much more comfortable in Bryce Young's projection over the next couple of years than I feel with Kyler. Like if Kyler goes to Minnesota or Indianapolis, okay, fine. I'm going to be wrong on this. You know, he's going to ball out. But what if he goes to like Pittsburgh? What if he would? I know they're not terrible, but you know, do I like Kyler in that system? I don't know if I like it too much. What if he goes to like Cleveland? I don't know. It's just the options for Kyler right now feel more limited.
Yeah.
Where I don't know what's next in his career. Where I feel like Bryce Young, he's playing well and he's gonna continue being a starter quarterback. So I'm gonna go with Bryce Young. Next name up, another first overall pick, Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams.
I respect Caleb.
Yeah, definitely.
Caleb's the better quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going with Caleb Williams. Jackson Dart.
Give me Bryce Young. Jackson Dart these last few games, albeit has had nothing around him, he's not played good.
No, it's been really bad. It's not fair to throw it out, but I kind of want to throw it out just because like the Giants are. It's the Giants. They have number one pick right now.
I mean, am I being too reactionary? I feel like they made a mistake firing Dable.
I agree.
Dable was amazing calling plays for Jackson Dart.
Well, yeah.
And I know Dart had like injuries and stuff, but he was balling with Dable.
Definitely a mistake. In the moment, it was a mistake. That was his guy. He drafted him. They were playing well. You needed to at least finish the year off with Dable.
Yeah.
You saw from 1,000 miles away too, which makes it more frustrating. The second Dart got drafted, we all said, like, sure, like take your swing on your guy, but like Dable, this team isn't good enough. So that's besides the point. I would rather have Jackson Dart. I think he's a more talented quarterback. He's more mobile. I think his arm is stronger. He's shown some high ceiling flashes this season. But you're not wrong. The last couple of weeks have been putrid. Like, he had
40 yards.
4 yards going into halftime, where like his first completion was halfway through the second quarter.
I'm with you. I'm giving him grace because the coaching's been abysmal, the play calling's been way too conservative, and then the weapons have been atrocious. I know Wan'Dale's been good. Outside of that, it's really a barren offense. So I'm going to take Jackson Dart here. That being said, I'm worried about Dart's recklessness. He's such a great athlete.
You're not wrong.
I'm really worried about that long term if he can dial that back in.
He doesn't
I'm
seem
gonna
to
take
care.
Jackson
That's the
Dart.
scary part.
Yeah, I'm taking Jackson Dart here, but in a couple of years, this could definitely be Bryce
He's
Young.
fun. He's
He
fun.
is.
You know,
He
Bryce Young
I
is
pray for him, but
is
he's fun.
smaller, he's more slender, but Jackson Dart has more durability concerns.
You're not wrong.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he does it to himself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bryce Young here. Next name up, Brock Purdy.
That's a good question. I would still. They're similar. They're very similar to each other. They both have restrictions when it comes to height, comes to arm strength, but they're both accurate. And I think they run their offense as well.
I'm gonna take Brock.
I think I would still take Brock just because, like, the highs we've seen, again, it's Shanahan, it's the 49ers and all the weapons, and 1,000% a fair argument for taking Bryce. If you want to say, well, Bryce could do the same thing, maybe he could, but I've just seen it with Brock.
This year, Bryce Young's been better.
Yes.
Yes.
Last couple of years, the same thing I apply with my logic when I took Baker Mayfield. Brock Purdy's been the better quarterback.
Bryce
so
hasn't been astronomically better than Brock, though.
I'm taking this Bryce's best year this year. I'm comparing Bryce to this body work by Brock last 2 years.
I agree, but
I'm still giving Bryce grace here.
But I'm
but
saying
taking
this
Brock.
year, Brock has not been significantly worse than Bryce.
No, it's been close.
It's
but-
been marginal,
Yeah.
which is why I would take Brock.
I'm still going Brock Purdy here. Next name up, Tua.
Oh, I'm taking Bryce Young.
I'd say Bryce Young.
Sorry.
I don't know, man.
We're only getting stuck with you. It felt like an easy breezy question for
Yeah,
Rose
go
and
to
John.
hell. I'll take Bryce.
This might have been the easiest one so far.
It was.
You gotta respect the guy who's led the league in passing yards before.
You do.
Nobody else has here on this list.
Yeah, no, they haven't. I'm going Bryce. And last name up, Bo Nix.
Bo
Bo
Nix.
I'm going with Bo Nix here.
Next.
Yeah, I'm going Bo Nix too. I'm still going Bo Nix. Bryce Young has really upped his reputation over the last couple of seasons. Really, the last two. This year has really been good for him, and they've won in a multitude of ways. Like, the defense has been great for stretches. The run game has been explosive for stretches, and then Bryce Young has really played his part in stretches too. It hasn't been just one thing for the entire season. It's been different things each game that they've needed.
Bryce Young is going to be super interesting because contract talk's going to come soon, and I just don't know what is going to happen because you can't, under good conscience, pay him as a top quarterback. No way in hell. Like, you cannot pay him the Trevor Lawrence contract, the Tua contract. We've seen it in previous years, the Brock Purdy contract. Some of these quarterbacks that aren't top 5 quarterbacks but get paid like it because it's just their time to pay them. Bryce Young has not shown enough or put the numbers up to warrant that. Is he the first quarterback that gets paid like not top quarterback money but gets like a fair value, like, 17th most paid? Like, to me, it would be a detriment to the organization if they paid him a big contract because you will be crippling this roster, and he's just not good enough to overcome that.
I feel like because of all the examples as of recently, it's going to bring quarterbacks' prices down moving forward. And I mean,
for these mid-tier quarterbacks,
yeah, like Bryce Young, I think if the Panthers offer him 3 years and 90, he should take it.
That's a fair value.
And I think if 3 years and 90, 30 million per season, for even 4 years, 120
It's like a Geno
million,
contract.
with the first 2 years being guaranteed, last 2 years not being guaranteed, I feel like that is fair. What's working for the Panthers in their favor is the fact that Bryce Young's stats aren't out of this world.
Yeah.
So it's not like Brock Purdy, he's second in the MVP conversation. You have to pay him $50 million. It's if Bryce Young wins a playoff game or two, that's probably going to drive up his price a lot. But as it currently stands, I feel like it would kind of be very hard-headed for Bryce Young's agent to like demand $55 million.
Part of me wonders.
No, 55 would be nuts. But if he asked for the Daniel Jones contract, that's also not insane.
It was like $40 million per year.
It was literally 2 years, 80.
Part of me wonders.
It was
because
4,160, but you know what I mean. Sorry,
Dave
John, go ahead.
Canales, in the majority of this year, has not trusted this passing game, despite Ted McMillan being a stud, especially with Jalen Coker coming back. Jalen Coker, to me, has the skill set
Shout out
of
to
a
the
number
Cokeheads.
2 receiver. But they have reined back, and this week they're throwing the ball more out of necessity. But the Panthers have primarily been a team that shied away from passing the ball. It's a little bit like the Packers, where it was a source of frustration with Matt LaFleur. part of me wonders, maybe this is a little, tinfoil hat here, but part of that is the fact they don't want to fully open up this passing attack, and then they can pay Bryce Young a little bit less in free agency if he is producing at a modest clip, opposed to this passing attack really being explosive. So now it's like, all right, we got to pay this guy at top of the market. It's like, no. We're actually going to take this slow, because to me, it has been frustrating at times when you want to see Bryce Young, who you invested 2 firsts and 2 seconds into, kind of have the keys given to him. And the Panthers haven't fully done that just yet.
Yeah, they just started doing right by him. Like Chuba Hubbard coming on, nice. Rico Dowdle, nice addition. Kind of eased up on the gas recently. Mm-hmm. Offensive line, solid, really strong. Tetaroa, really good. Let's keep it going. Cokeheads, shout out. We're trending in the right direction. Let's just keep building on this. The front office has really started to make some strong moves. Let's continue to build off this so then we can judge fairly the play that we're seeing out of Bryce Young and genuinely see whether or not he's limiting or uplifting. Because right now I look and I still hold on to the fact that I think that he is uplifting.
I agree.
You gave him one guy, and he's been a huge impact player. This isn't trying to make it like Bryce Young's elevated. No, Tetaroa needs Bryce the way that Bryce needs Tetaroa. He's been excellent. The two's connection has been strong. But let's just keep building and let's see what we can do. Thank God. We needed that so bad.
I just got to say that
Philip,
the special teams fumble really
changed the game.
It's
true.
The Colts are probably leading right now if that doesn't happen, or at least it's a tie game.
Tie game at minimum.
The
Colts are playing their hearts out.
Because that gave the 49ers like perfect field position to score.
All right, so the Colts are playing their hearts out, but we also can acknowledge the Niners offense has been flawless.
Yeah, that's the worry, is that the Colts defense, they played their hearts out last week.
Thank God.
Their defense was not that good.
So bad, you have no idea. We didn't need that for PAS. But.
PAS, in one of my other leagues, I'm going to be down like 4 now. But
okay, only down 7.
Need Purdy.
It's not so bad, Philip. Let's get it done. I'm looking forward to this segment. It's the Super Bowl pie. And we're going to divide it up into 2 segments because AFC and NFC. We'll talk about the AFC first. And what this is, Super Bowl pie, is what percentage chance, what ranking do you give each team to make it out of their conference? Now, this segment is sponsored by Poly Market. Shout out to them for sponsoring the Pick a Side podcast and the show. Right now, they're top 7 in the AFC. Buffalo's at 20%. Denver's at 19%. Jesus. New England's at 18.9%. Jacksonville's at 16.4%. Houston is at 11%. LA, the Chargers, are at 10%. And the Steelers are at 7%. So according to Poly Market, which is where people put in their own money into the app and make these predictions, the people have decided that Buffalo is at a 20% chance to make it out of the AFC.
And you know how I feel about this.
In the conference.
Disrespectful.
It boggles my mind. What have they shown you this year to say we deserve to be second?
Josh Allen.
That's number one.
Josh Allen looked human as hell yesterday, and they almost got picked. Not really. By Cleveland.
They almost got him.
I think the only argument for the Bills is down AFC year. You got the best quarterback. He tends to go superhuman in the playoffs. He
does.
If there's a year that it has to be, it's this year.
Since it's gone superhuman, it's been some years. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I'll say this about the percentages on Poly Market. This is what I'll say. I think the Chargers are criminally low. They're at 10%. They have the 6th best chances to make it out the AFC. This is how I map my list. And I could have very easily changed the number 1 spot for my number 2 team. Number 1 is the Denver Broncos. But after that butt kicking that the Jaguars gave them.
Oh, so that game did move you.
The Jaguars are at 2 for me. Could have been number 1. I think they have a realistic argument
They're
for
a good
it.
Team.
Number 3.
Great team, you could argue.
I went with the Houston Texans.
All right,
I think the Texans are still a dark horse team. They have the best defense in the league. It's with them, Denver, and Seattle. But Denver's defense has been awful recently, so I don't know if they're in the discussion anymore.
Awful?
As an elite defense.
Then why did we shut you guys down?
22nd EP per play.
Make it make sense.
Because we got hurt. That's why. In the second half, you guys shut us down because we got hurt. 100%. Christian Watson was not in the game. Offensive lineman went out. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, keep going, please.
I have the Chargers at 4. They could be swapped in for the Texans, so that's why Polymarket having the Chargers at 6. It's crazy to me. The Chargers are at 4. I'm not buying the Bills hype. I think they're at 5.
Where are
And
the
you know what?
Steelers?
I'm not
They're
buying.
last.
I'm not buying the Patriots hype
You don't
either.
overthink that one.
They're at 6. I think the Patriots are very vulnerable. Their defense
very
is
fair.
mediocre. It's below average. They don't have weapons offensively.
Fucking
They don't
6
have
too.
a consistent run game. And then the Steelers are at 7. I think the Steelers have a chance to win
come
a
out of the
playoff
AFC.
game.
No, for sure. I don't know
give
why.
the
The
Steelers
team
a
that they can
5%
beat,
chance.
you have at 4. The team that they can beat, you have at 4.
The Chargers blew them out when they played.
That's a good point, but Steel City.
Every
in
team in the
playoffs,
AFC
I
has
don't
a
know.
chance to go to the Super
Not
Bowl.
great, but
And
neither
that's
do
my
Chargers.
top 7. So I disagree vehemently with Buffalo's placement at number 1.
All right, so we all agree that Buffalo being that high is insane.
But that's my
Yeah.
top 7.
I give Buffalo a good 20% chance to win the Super Bowl because this is the best their ground
Win the
game's been.
Super Bowl?
to
Go to.
go to the
Okay,
Super Bowl.
sorry for me having an aneurysm
fault.
about that.
Because their ground game is the best it's been, and that foundation in January is going to be strong. I also expect Josh Allen to continue playing at that elite level we've seen and that we're accustomed to.
Do you agree with them being number 1?
No.
What's your list?
Number 1 for me is the Denver Broncos. Number 2 and 3 for me is kind of a tug of war between the Bills and the Texans. I have the Bills at 2, the Texans at 3. Number 4, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. 5, I have the New England Patriots. 6, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. And last and
Ooh.
7th, I have the Steelers.
Jacksonville 6.
Mm-hmm. You want to know what I'm going to tell you, though?
Let's hear it.
Wow.
The gap between the 4th and 6th best teams is so negligible.
4th and 6, okay.
Earlier in the show, we highlighted, I think it's going to come down to matchups. The gap, I have percentages here. The gap between the Jags and the Chargers in 4th is 3%.
But wow, the Jags at number 6 for you.
The
That seems
Jaguars are
criminally
better
low.
than the Chargers.
I agree with
They
you.
blew them out.
I do agree with you. That being said, with the Chargers ground game getting back Marion Hampton and their weapons continuing to play well, and I just look at Justin Herbert in this matchup and I have more confidence in him. I look at the Chargers defense. I have more confidence in their defense.
I've said that before.
I'm going with, I get it. I get it. But I think this time around will be different.
Okay.
I think that the most awful matchup for the Chargers is Jacksonville
yes.
for the simple fact that it really doesn't have much to do with the personnel as it has to do with. I've seen Liam Cohen match up against Jesse Minter twice. Last year in Tampa Bay, they absolutely
Lit 'em up.
smoked
Let them up.
their defense.
Let them up.
And then this time again, this year, they absolutely smoked their defense once again, and they embarrassed them. So that I just don't feel comfortable in Jesse Minter defense against the Jaguars offense. But I think the Jaguars are very low for you. But you explained yourself. I mean, Des, who are you going with?
So I had a bit of a cop out because I put percentages on mine. Denver was number 1, 12% chance. Then the Jags, Bills, Texans, Chargers, and Pats, I gave all 9% chance.
I'm crying.
because you can make an argument for all of them. I did put them in order because although I had them at 9, I was like 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D. I would have the Broncos at 1 above the rest of the pack. I would have the Jags second. I think the statement win that they had in Denver was huge. They've played good football for basically the entire season. Trevor Lawrence playing his best ball right now. Buffalo would be number 3 for me. No matter where they go, they're going to have the best quarterback. James Cook is having the best season of his career. The offensive line is great. It's just the defense that you question. But on all of these teams, there's something to question. Buffalo is going to be the defense. 4 is where I have the Houston Texans. 5 is the Chargers. 6 and 7 is the same as yours, Joel. It's the Pats and the Steelers. I know the Pats have a chance to get the number 1 seed. They might have the MVP on their team. I just don't think they have enough. Like, as much as I love Drake May, it's like, okay, year 2, you're going to go to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, as great as you have been, like, is that's what's going to happen? Especially all the questions you have on defense, the questions in the weapons room. Stephon Diggs had a good game, but before this, he didn't crack 30 yards in a month. So the passing attack, or at least the hierarchy, feels very random at times.
It feels like we're going to become the anti-Pats podcast, having them so low because they might be the first seed in the
They will
AFC.
be, and they could be the first seed in the AFC, and in the second round of the playoffs, they could be underdogs. You know what I mean? Like if they played Buffalo in the second round, right? Like, and Buffalo says, let's say they go and beat Houston by 2 touchdowns, they could very well be underdogs even with the number 1 seed. So New England's had a great regular season, and none of us have ever taken that away from them, right? We're like, no, this is a great team. Drake May should be in the MVP conversation. They'd be a deserved 1 seed, but this is a different conversation now. This isn't about giving New England respect, being like, this is a fake season. It's like, who are you going to take to win the Super Bowl? Who are you going to take to at least represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? And for a multitude of reasons, super young quarterback, this is the first time Drake May is with this head coach, Mike Vrabel, an offensive play caller, and the defense isn't figured out yet, and you don't have enough weapons on offense. They are probably the least talented group out of everyone here. Maybe outside the Steelers, and it could even be an argument.
You're right about that. I just feel like last year we said the same exact thing about the Commanders, and they went to the NFC Championship game. And look at the Patriots, 12-3.
Yeah,
last
Terry
two games.
McLaurin.
Okay. Last two games, they played the
brushed them
Jets.
off.
Stephon Diggs.
They
McLaurin's
played
better.
the Jets and the Dolphins.
Is that what he did yesterday?
Yeah, but he does it like once a month.
The Patriots are on track to
when
win
you need him, he answers the call.
The Patriots are on track to win 14 games and very possibly have the 1 seed. The Jaguars are a more well-rounded football team, but the way that we've seen Trevor Lawrence play these last 4 weeks, been amazing. That's how Drake May's played the entire season. So when I look at the Patriots, very possibly having that first-round bye, and they have the best quarterback in this conference, the quarterback who's played the best of any of these guys, including Josh Allen this season.
Go next place for Broncos.
That's why I had the Patriots above the Jaguars. And I do think Jacksonville at 6, it's a little bit low. It's a little bit disrespectful. But I also look at, quite frankly, the Broncos are 1 for me. But and even then, 1 through 6 to me, it feels very interchangeable.
It is.
Because week to week, these teams show you a different side of themselves. So I think this is going to change, especially when we see the playoffs. One of these teams is going to surprise someone in a big way.
So the
Joel, I loved your
Broncos-
list.
Yeah.
I loved your list. My number 1, I got the Denver Broncos, obviously.
We
I
all
wouldn't
got the
go
number
any
1.
other way.
What can go wrong?
Just stay on this side, if that's what you're going to do. Jaguars, I do have number 2 after yesterday's win. It was it was probably their most impressive win on the season for me, especially because you're coming into Mile High and you dominated for the entire game. Got to give them their respect. Houston's number 3. This is the team that I've been consistent on. This is the team I want to see the least. And after yesterday, I'll throw Jaguars in that conversation, but Houston's defense puts a fear in my heart that not many other teams do. And so when I look at Houston, I think, their offense is underwhelming, but their defense can go up against any top offense and shut them down. So that is a genuine concern for me. I would put them number 3. Number 4, the disrespect can only go on so much. I have the Buffalo Bills here at number 4. The Buffalo Bills rush offense can put them in every single game. And their pass defense, where their rush defense is atrocious, their pass defense hasn't been bad this season. So I'll give them their respect in that regard. Number 5 is tough because the Patriots have been one of the best teams in football. Roster-wise, team-wise, we could say that they've overachieved this season. And mainly that's in due part because this guy, Drake May, is one of the best quarterbacks in football already in year 2. And what he's been able to accomplish with such an underwhelming supporting cast has been really impressive to me. But without Milton Williams on the field, we know that they're a little bit vulnerable in their rush defense. When he's on the field, it's a scary unit, one of the best rush defense in the game. He's the difference between me putting them 5 and me putting them 6. If he's on the field, I'll put them 5. If he's not, I'll put them number 6. With the idea that he'll be healthy, with them being at 100%. Touchdown?
It looks like a touchdown.
Okay, nice. Nice play by Tanj. I'm going to put the Patriots at 5 to respect them and what they've accomplished. I'll put the Chargers at 6 because I know their offensive line's not getting healthy. I know for a fact their offensive line is not going to be 100% ready to go. Christian McCaffrey is the single greatest player to ever touch a football field. I need it to be known that I love him with my heart and my soul. And Charles, if you're listening to this part of the podcast, good game, my brother. You played a great game. You fought hard all season. You overcame a lot of injuries. Unfortunately, you fell short to Little Bro. And Little Bro is going to his age championship because Christian McCaffrey is the best there ever was. And number 7, I do have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I do think they can win a playoff game.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm a little bit higher on them, John, than you are, and I'm not surprised because, again, you're the fan, and you've seen real heartbreak because of this team. I can understand being prepared for disappointment, but this defense has come to play over these last few weeks. TJ Watt being back into the lineup injected a burst of energy into them. Yes, you really limited Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs to me is on notice because he's a bad team merchant. I'm pretty strong too.
Jameer's incredible, not better than Le'Veon.
No, he's not better.
Love
than
that,
Le'Veon.
John. Love that.
He's not better than Le'Veon. Agreed. I agree with you.
Stamp it.
I think
He's not.
I think
I
it's
hate
a
to break it to
genuine
you.
conversation between. Let me not say 5 because I think the Patriots deserve that acknowledgement. But the Steelers, they're hot at the right time, John.
They are hot at the right time.
They're a scary team. I don't know. This win versus the Lions, the Lions are not the best version of themselves that we've seen. But on the road in Detroit, 29 points, elite rushing performance against one of the premier rush defenses in the league. I was really moved by the Steelers yesterday. And honestly, I don't feel good putting them 7. But honestly, if they were to play the Chargers in round 1, that pass rush can get home and make Justin Herbert uncomfortable. Jalen Warren and Kenny Gainwell have been constant contributors to this offense for the Steelers. Kenny Gainwell mainly. I can see them upsetting the Chargers in round 1. Now, going on a Super Bowl run, I don't know. We're asking a lot of the Steelers now. But to get over the hump of not winning a playoff game in a long, yeah, I can see it.
And with Aaron Rodgers at the helm, a legend.
Aaron Rodgers is playing great ball.
Yeah, he's playing amazing. He's playing amazing. Thank God he switched.
Just
Okay.
had 2 less ones without him. Didn't change much.
All right, and he's in making the playoffs.
Maybe.
You guys had the drought. You know, he's out of the drought.
There's still a
now.
drought over in Pittsburgh. Let's see if he ends it.
Yeah, we'll see. The AFC is very balanced. I think that's what we all learned here. The NFC is not as balanced. And according to Parley Market, we're going to do the same thing for the NFC, is that in the NFC, the Rams are number 1 at 28%.
As
Shouldn't
they should
change.
The Seahawks are number 2 at 24.6%.
As they should be.
They're the only 2 teams in the NFC with a 20% chance or better to make it out of the NFC. The Eagles are at 15%. The Bears are at 10.1%. The 49ers, and this could change with their win, they're at 10% currently. The Packers are at 9%.
Low.
The Tampa Bay Bucks are at 2%, and Carolina is at 1%.
So what the hell? So the guys that are in first place in division currently have a less percentage than the team that's in second. Disrespectful, Polymarket. I'm keeping track. However,
They think that Tampa Bay will still find a way to win the division. That's what they're saying.
maybe they know
Tampa
more
Bay
than
is still favored to win the division because the Panthers, they have a tough matchup this week. I forgot who it is.
Seahawks. Yeah.
But
They're gonna lose.
Number 1 should be the Rams. I do still believe that the Rams are the best team in football.
Yeah.
They're great on all fronts, everything. Emmanuel Forbes has been such an amazing addition to this secondary. Tackle. Thank you. Jonathan you don't need him. You don't need him at all, actually.
Not
I
even
get
a little
it,
bit
and I
up by 1
apologize.
point.
Really?
Not our matchup.
No,
different league.
I know. Nice.
But
Flag coming back.
it's fucking 1 point.
The Rams are number 1. Now, Seattle should be 2. But I can't put Seattle number 2 for personal reasons. Personal reasons that I probably should share because this is a podcast and that's what we do.
We do that.
But after this week's performance, I am going to hold back 1 week of saying I don't trust Sam Darnold in the big moment because this is the first time in years we've seen him in the big moment and he shined. Credit where it's due.
Hey, just ignore that he's top 5 in game winning drives since 2024. Just ignore his Rose Bowl performance at USC. Just
College.
ignore
That's
what
what we
he
have to
did
go
in
to.
USC's
overtime.
The college shit always loses.
Just ignore the adversity that he's dealt with in
Lot of
his
adversity, that's
NFL
facts.
career to become a starting caliber franchise top 10 quarterback.
He was
in the
given a stimulus
National
package against
Football
the
League.
Rams, but I'll give it to him. He came back and he clutched up. Great throw to Cup. Great throw to win the game. Now, number 2, I'm going Philadelphia. I think the Eagles, where their rush defense hasn't been as strong, Jalen Carter's been banged up these last 2 weeks. I do think that Jordan. Oh no!
Get it.
He got it back. They got it back. I do believe that Jordan Davis has been having one of the best years. He has been having the best year of his career. He's been excellent. This defense, secondary wise, Quinyon Mitchell is one of the best corners in the game. Cooper DeJean, one of the better complementary corners in the game as well. This is still a great defense, complemented by a rush offense that is nowhere near as dominant as it was last year. But Saquon very quietly these last few weeks has been getting things going. This performance versus the Commanders, a lot of his success was because he's simply an amazing player. And a lot of conversations have been going around Saquon Barkley like he's just not the same player. It's nonsense. The offensive line's not the same. And he's still being met by contact well before the line of gain, and he's been being able to still overcome and have success. very quietly this past week. It is the Commanders, but the pass offense was able to be successful. We're utilizing A.J. Brown in different facets. Dallas Goedert continues to be effective. I do believe that this is still a top 2 team in the conference. Number 3, the disrespect stops at a certain point. The Seattle Seahawks are still one of the premier defense in the league. Now, Nick Emenwari getting banged up stings. They're going to have a game suspension by their linebacker that I'm blanking on his name off the top of my noggin. Maybe if you guys help me out, it'd be great. But it shouldn't change how you finish the end of the season. The Seattle Seahawks still are a great defense, one of the best defenses in the league. And their offense has been great. It does not matter who's covering week to week. This guy, JSN, is going to get his. Kenneth Walker was great in the run game against one of the premier rush defense in the league as well. Ken Walker finally has his breakout game. Seattle's number 3 for me. Number 4, I'll go Chicago. I think Chicago's done enough where defensively I still do not trust them. But their offense has a certain floor that any given week they can go out there and they can go ahead, and when you need it, they can go out there and execute and win a ball game. The defense is timely. Number 1, more than anything, that has been their saving grace time and time again. So because they are timely, because they do have a run game where they can run down the clock and they can abuse that facet of the game, I will give them that acknowledgement. I will put them at number 4. Number 5, it's tough because my heart wants to respect the Niners, but because they're so banged up, I can't find myself able to do it. But I think I kind of have to, because when you look at the Niners, their offense can go up against any defense in that division, and they can put up points. It's a division game versus Seattle. They can win that game. Division game versus the Rams. They showed earlier this season they can beat the Rams, and that was without Brock Purdy. I just think they have too many injuries to overcome, which is why I can't put them as a team higher than this. So I'll put them at number 5. Number 6, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I do think the Green Bay Packers, just because they're so banged up, that they don't unfortunately stack up with these other teams. But number 7, I know we have to pick a team from the NFC South. I wish I couldn't because I'd put the Lions here. But I will go the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers are obviously the weakest link here.
The NFC South is whoever is going to be the Bucks or Panthers are at 7. It doesn't really matter who it is. They're at 7. The Rams are 1. I think they're the most talented team in the conference. The Seahawks are 2. They are the most complete team in the conference. They have all 3 phases. The Rams have really good defense, an elite offense, but they have a poor special teams. The Seahawks have an elite defense, a really good offense, and they have a great special teams unit, especially with Rashid Shaheed being added. And you saw the difference he made against the Rams as a punt returner.
Rams fired the special teams coach, though.
Yep. So that could maybe reignite what's going on, and that could make them better. And they need it. And it was a move that was 100% necessary and justified. Number 3, I'm betting on the Eagles' talent and Jalen Carter coming back. This is more so me buying their defense than buying their offense, though. The Eagles, they scored 15 points against Chicago. I know that
it's not gonna happen again, bro. Trust.
I know that the Eagles are on a hot stretch right now and they're playing well, but it's been against the Commanders, who are the worst defense in the league, and the Raiders, who are one of the worst defenses in the league. But 2 defenses that are completely awful. You tell me that you have a really gifted defensive coordinator. You have Mike McDonald game planning for this Eagles defense, that they're going to score more than 15 points. I have a tough time seeing that. Like, I think the Eagles offense, when they go up against a really good, well-coached defensive unit, they're going to struggle like they've struggled all season long. Number 4, I have the Packers. I mean, I think even with the injuries, they stack up with almost anybody. I think Jeff Hafley is one of the brightest defense coordinators who called an excellent game against the Bears and Caleb Williams. Up until the final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter, Caleb Williams had 147 passing yards on a day. The Bears' offense got shut down. The run game got shut down. And then the onside kick happened and everything went to shit. But the Packers, without Micah, showed that they could be a top 10 defense last year. And the offense, as long as Jordan Love and Christian Watson are healthy, they're going to be able to go toe-to-toe with anybody.
I don't disagree.
The Bears are at 5. I think they're going to probably win the division, but I still think the Packers are a better team. The 6 are the 49ers. I just think the 49ers defense is awful. I mean, Phillip Rivers at 45 is torching them.
You have to do that. He's a legend.
And he is a legend, but he's torching them. I mean, the reason why the 49ers are going to win by 2 scores is because of a kick return that was fumbled. I mean, it was a fumble on a kickoff. That's really why. But they are going toe-to-toe with the Colts. And I know so did the Seattle Seahawks. But at least that was a slugfest. Like, this has been a shootout. And you're telling me I got to trust San Francisco to score 30-plus points on an elite defense and also stop an opposing offense? I have a tough time believing that.
Yeah, I mean, my list is very similar. I think you have a very clear top 2 in the NFC. You have the Rams at number 1, even though they choked the game against Seattle, and Seattle being number 2. I understand the questions around Sam Darnold. You know, the questions, can he come through in the big game? Can he have a clutch time moment? I just think that's how it is for any quarterback who hasn't done it yet, right? We had the same questions about Jalen Hurts. People have those questions about Lamar Jackson. People have questions about Brock Purdy. Until you do it, you can't do it. And then once you do it, you did it, and there's no more questions. So you hate to see that. I just lost. For Sam Darnold, you know, it's really just being able to overcome that big moment. So the fact that he was able to do it Thursday Night Football, prime time, is a step in the right direction for him. But of course, doing the playoffs is way different, especially the season you're coming off of last year where things just completely unravel down the stretch in the regular season and then eventually in the playoffs. So they're the top 2 for me. Then for me, it's like a 3A, 3B. I think the Eagles and the Packers are really neck and neck. If you believe what the Eagles offense has shown in the last couple of weeks, or I guess really just the Raiders game, because even the Commanders game was a little iffy here and there. You can see some real upside there, because I do think the defense is talented. I do think they have one of the best defensive minds in Vic Fangio. But offensively, it's still a bit of a question mark. Saquon hasn't been able to get it going more recently these last few weeks. They have been doing more under center stuff, which is promising at the very minimum. But I'm also taking a full season's worth of data, and the data says that this team just isn't that good. You know, at least offensively, it's an offense that you can't trust. And although they have all the talent in the world, and we've seen them do it before in the big moments, I have a hard time, like you said, Joel, going up against Mike McDonald. You can be able to move the ball. You're going up against the Rams. I know you beat them earlier in this year. Can you do it again? The Packers, I think, would be a really tough opponent. That's why they're kind of 3A, 3B to me. So it's really close. If I had to choose one over the other, I think I would slightly lean Philadelphia just because they have the history against them, number 1. And then, of course, Green Bay just being as banged up as they are.
The camera died on us while Dels was in his spiel. And in that moment, Phillip Rivers threw a pick 6. And Drew might have lost in the fantasy playoffs because of that.
I'm up 1.4.
1.4? Oh, you should. Wow. Well, you can't have another interception.
Oh, my God.
Didn't need him to 6 it.
Charles had San Fran defense.
Oh, my God.
You almost lost on that. That's crazy.
Bro, this game's still not over now.
Yeah, I hope Phillip Rivers doesn't do some.
Now hand the ball off, bro. No bullshit.
Yeah.
Knee it out. Knee it out.
You might hate Phillip Rivers for life now.
They really should. You know, the Pat Bryant thing, when he got smoked, you know, Prayers obviously seems to be okay. When it's a certain time and a certain score, you know how in Madden now, like, you can knee it and the clock just goes down to zero? You should be able to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 21 with 3.5 minutes. I guess it's still possible, but there should be some rule in the NFL where, like, because teams obviously don't want to just give up. Like the Broncos yesterday, they were down 14 with like a minute and a half, like no timeouts. Is it possible? Sure, you get a 70-yard touchdown. And it's like, but like, it's not going to happen. And you're risking these guys like life. So either way, what were we getting at?
Dude, they were playing so well. The Colts, that drive was looking really good. Damn, that sucks. I feel bad for Phillip Rivers.
Just give him the ball, hand it off, and end the game.
Bro, Phillip Rivers has 277, 2 touchdowns.
He's hooping.
Oh my God, bro. That's insane. Alec Pierce has 4 receptions, 86 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
He made himself at least an extra $3 million tonight.
Yeah, Alec Pierce, he's a star, bro. He's a star. But okay, where were we at? We were at talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, so the top 4, it's the top 2 to me are clear when it comes to the Rams and the Seahawks. The next 2 to me are clear when it comes to the Packers and Eagles. I know Bears fans are going to be pissed off because they're like, we just beat the Packers. Very fair. You know, you lost them a couple weeks prior. Both games came down to the wire, so I really do think these two teams are neck and neck, but they would be next to me. I think the Bears would be number 5 on my list. 49ers would be 6. Both of them have, I think, similar questions. You trust both offenses. I think you trust both coaching staffs. It's just defensively, neither team can really get stops. I think Chicago has shown more, which is why I would have them one spot higher, but I don't trust either of them. And then, the NFC South, Panthers or Bucks, I don't have much faith in at all.
So my list is pretty similar to yours. Number 1, I have the Rams. 2, I have the Seahawks. The Seahawks do have the number 1 seed right now, but the Rams playing the winner of the NFC South. To me, it kind of is a shoe-in win in my book.
the game.
Number 3 are the Eagles, 4 are the Bears, 5 are the Packers, slightly behind them, 6 Niners, and 7 Panthers. And I was looking at my AFC bracket here. 4 through 6 is very close. I had to move up the Jaguars to 4, so I slid down the Patriots to 5 and the Chargers to 6. That was needed.
I'm up 0.5, and they just took Jonathan Taylor out.
Yeah, you clutched up. You clutched up. So, sorry, John. Say it again. Your top 7.
Number 1, I got the Rams. 2 Seahawks. And to me, the Rams moving to the wild card spot doesn't concern me a whole lot, given the fact that they're playing the NFC South winner. 3 are the Eagles, 4 Bears, 5 Packers, 6 Niners, and 7 the Panthers.
It's fair because when they went on their Super Bowl run, they were on the road until they went to, well, that's not true. They played a home game against the Cardinals, but on the road in Tampa Bay, on the road in San Fran. And then they got a home game, ironically, in the Super Bowl because they were having it in SoFi. But they showed they can win on the road. They went into Philly, and they gave Philly their toughest matchup of their postseason. So you still should have nothing but faith in the Rams to be successful if they happen to be the wild card team.
The Seahawks are the first seed in the NFC, and the Rams, like you mentioned, John, they're probably going to face the Panthers or the Buccaneers first round.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be heavily favored. And then if they win that matchup, they're going to face Seattle for the 3rd time this year. And I feel like there are 2 matchups in the NFC that we might get for the 3rd time this year. That's Green Bay versus Chicago, and that's the Rams versus the Seahawks. And both of those matchups have been exceptional all year long. So I would really look forward to seeing that happen in the playoffs as well. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side podcast, episode 538. We want to thank you guys for sticking around. We want to thank you guys for supporting the show. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. We want to shout out the sponsor of today's episode, Poly Market.
Let's get Poly, man.
Who had the percentages on the AFC and the NFC. It's going to be legal in all 50 states soon. You can join the wait list, and you can follow us on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod, on TikTok and Instagram at Pick a Side Podcast. On Facebook, we have a Pick a Side Facebook page if you want to tune into that. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.